Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. Welcome to the continuation of the recessed meeting of the City of Miami Commission meeting of September 8th, 2022 in these historic chambers. Right now, we are going to proceed with the prayer. I have Father Denrick Roll of St. Agnes Episcopal Church to give us the prayer, and following the prayer, we're going to do the proclamation items that we weren't able to get to at the September 8th meeting. Father Roll, would you come forward, please?
Let us pray. Almighty God, without you, we are unable to please you. Help us to think right, to act right. Help us to love. Help us to grow. Help us to stand upon truth for the betterment of your city, for the betterment of your nation, for the betterment of your world. We ask this through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Thank you, Father Roll. At this time, Commissioner Reyes, would you honor us with the Pledge of Allegiance? Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now I believe we have some proclamation items. You're late.
This is yours.
Yes. Would everyone from the hostess please join us? We are celebrating today 45 years of service from the De Hostess Senior Center, which is located in my district. It is a collaboration between the city and Miami-Dade County. They provide such wonderful services for seniors in our community. I'll read the Certificate of Merit. The City of Miami issues this Certificate of Merit to De Hostess Senior Center as it celebrates its 45th year anniversary. The Hostess Senior Center is a nonprofit organization that was established in 1974. The overall goal of the De Hostess Senior Center is to provide comprehensive services for elders living in Wynwood, Alapata, Little Haiti, North Miami, and other surrounding areas of Miami-Dade County. These services are available to all elderly and disabled adults. The Hostess Senior Center further seeks to empower the elderly population in these communities to achieve self-sufficiency and proper interaction, and also to enhance the elderly's quality of life by providing nutritional services and promoting physical, emotional, educational, recreational, and cultural development for its participants. The Hostess Senior Center functions as an advocate for the elderly, multi-ethnic, multicultural changing community by fostering community-wide interest and concern of their needs, eliminating racial tension, prejudice, discrimination, and lessening the effects of economic disadvantage and gentrification among this population. We are confident that the Hostess Senior Center will continue to excel, serve our community with distinction, and contribute to the city of Miami. This is presented on behalf of Mayor Suarez and my colleagues and the residents of the city of Miami. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the fantastic work that you do. And they do, I go by the center a lot. They do wonderful things for our seniors. They keep them healthy. I even got my COVID vaccination there during the pandemic. Would you like to say something?
I would like to say thank you to all the commissioners. Thank you for Commissioner Keene.
And thank you to the administration of City of Miami, the Hoto Senior Center, and their 45 years that we've been serving. And honestly, since we have a new administration, everything is moving smoothly. Before we had some difficult time, but now everything is well. And the Hoto Senior Center serve seniors, and we have an intergenerational program also. So we have a youth people working with the senior, because the senior, they need to feel the warmth and the love for the young people like they are their grandchildren. Thank you. And we have a wonderful commissioner now, and she is very involved in the center now. Even Manolo Reyes not our commissioner, but he's supporter. He's a friend of the host as well. Thank you.
Thank you for mentioning me. Yeah, as you well know, I've been in contact and I have been visiting the senior center, the Hostel Senior Center, and that neighborhood of Wynwood since I started my political career in 1980s, back in the 80s. And I most congratulate you and everybody that works at the center, because that center serves everybody, regardless of where they come from, the color of their skin, place of origin, no matter. As long as you need a place to socialize and also to get your nourishment, you are always welcome at the Hostel Senior Center. Thank you for your job. And thank you, Madam Chair, for taking good care of those people. Thank you very much.
Commissioner Russell? Okay. Ready?
Thank you. Morning. Morning. We wanted to call the City of Miami Procurement Department if they can join us, please. Thank you. Oh. Where do
all the way down. All the way down. You got a big group. We all don't fit.
Morning,
Big group,
morning.
big group.
Good morning. 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 Yeah, why not? The more the merrier.
Keep sliding, keep going all the way down. Let's get everybody in here. Got to balance out the seal. You guys can stay on this side. You guys can stay on this side here.
Mr. Manager.
Thank you very much. So good morning, everyone. This group had about a 4 or 5 day pause on this recognition because they were all here on Thursday. I felt really bad for them because they all came in mass. This group of people here, really our procurement department, are a phenomenal group. They represent the city well. You know, obviously a lot of what they do is, you know, internally serviced to all of our departments. But across the board and consistent across the board, if you ask any of the department directors, anybody that has an opportunity to sort of touch this department, they come away incredibly impressed and incredibly grateful for the work they do. Annie and her team just do a remarkable job. They really do. And every opportunity I've had to interact with them has been phenomenal. And we're lucky to have them. The leadership in that department is great. The creativity, the work ethic, it's just unmatched. And so, every opportunity when we get a chance to sort of recognize our employees, and in this case, we get to do it en masse as a department, that even makes it more special because it really is a team effort amongst all of them. Every person up here plays a significant role from the top down, and they should be incredibly proud of the work they do. I certainly am, and I'll give their CFO a chance to talk in a minute. But for purposes of just the recognition and kind of what triggered it, even though we really should recognize them every meeting if we really had a chance. But I'll read the actual proclamation itself. It's a certificate of merit. And it says, for the City of Miami Procurement Department, the City of Miami issues this certificate of merit to the City of Miami Procurement Department. The department has won a 6th year in a row the National Procurement Institute's Excellence in Procurement 2022 Award. This next line is absolutely entirely on point, by the way, which it says, the City of Miami enjoys the best procurement team in the nation. And we are confident that the department will continue to excel and serve our community with distinction and contribute to the City of Miami. So big round of applause for all of them. Larry, you want to say a few words?
Good morning. Just quickly, I've only been back. I had the esteemed pleasure of leading this group when I was here before, and again, the esteemed pleasure to lead this group again. I've been back maybe 9 weeks. I've had a number of great conversations and discussions with Annie, Yadisa already about continued improvement. They're always looking forward. So, guys, I thank you all. And, you just set a new bar for yourselves. So, for the public, though, understand that this is the group that you do business with. If you want to become a goods and services provider, you want to do construction, all of those things, this is the group that you need to be interacting with. And our goal is, long-term, is to build on what you see here right now and make it better and have better engagement and utilize this great economic development tool. So, congratulations to the team.
Thank you, everyone. Again, I tell everybody I have the best procurement team in the entire nation. This is all them.
Letitia, she's in the building department.
She's over there, right?
Yes.
She's buried behind. I think she's right.
Want me to call her?
Yeah. No, she's gone.
Good morning. It's my honor and privilege to present the recognition for Certificate of Merit to a professional in the city of Miami, Kwatisha Oguntoyimbo Rashad. The city of Miami issues this certificate of merit to Kwatisha Oguntoyimbo Rashad, the Chief of Environmental Resources in the Building Department for the city of Miami, who was recently awarded the President's Award of Merit as issued by the Florida chapter of the International Society of Arboriculture. This individual is chosen by the Florida chapter past president and bestowed to recognize outstanding meritorious service in advancing the principles of ideas and practices of progressive arboriculture. We are confident that she will continue to excel and serve our community with distinction and contribute to the great successes of the city of Miami. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in applauding and recognizing Ms. Oguntoyimbo Rashad.
Good morning. Thank you, Mayor Suarez, commissioners, and my city managers and directors. Thank you always for this acknowledgement and recognition. Everything that I do, everything that my team, Environmental Resources, does is for and always will be for the betterment of the city of Miami and its residents. So we greatly appreciate this recognition, and we will continue to do the best job that we can do. Thank you.
Thank you, Kwatisha. Having worked with you for 7 years now, I certainly appreciate you, as do my residents, especially in Coconut Grove, where until the value of our properties is recognized by our canopy and not just by the built-out square foot, we depend on you to protect our tree canopy, and we thank you so much. Thank you.
I would like to say a few words because, Kwatisha makes everyone in the building department very proud. When she came over to building 2 years ago, yes. 2 years ago, I remember that you had quite a large amount of workload, and so did everybody else. And she started tackling that workload with so much pride that it went from being up here to all the way down to maybe 5 or 6 or 7 overdue projects compared to the rest of the department being way off. And it was such a pride moment that we said, well, she's now the benchmark for the rest of the department, and you have done really well setting that that baseline for the rest of the department, and we're really proud of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Talks about it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll bring her on.
Thank you.
I'm going to defer and let you guys. Just acknowledge her first.
You're so kind.
You're a good reader. You read good.
All right, so should I start?
Yes, you should.
All right. Good morning. My name is Lakeisha Hull. I'm the planning director for the City of Miami. Right now, we would like to present a certificate of merit to Erica Kim Lee. Erica Kim Lee works in my department, and I'm very excited to give her this award with the administration. She is an amazing employee. She helps to keep my team afloat with a lot of the work that she does. I've been in this role for about 5 months, but in the 5 months I've been here, I've been truly, truly impressed with her professionalism and just her decorum and just how she leads by example with her team. Erica is a Hearing Board Specialist 1, and she has also worked with the Code Enforcement Board, the Ticket Appeals Special Magistrates in the City Attorney's Office, the Solid Waste Department, and the Code Compliance Department. In March 2019, Erica earned a promotion to the Hearing Board's Coordinator, where she worked with the Planning, Zoning, and Appeals Board, applicants, professional staff, and numerous departments overseeing coordination of documents for public hearing items. Having excelled in her work with PZAB in June 2021, Erica began working with the Coordination for Scheduling City Commission, Planning, and Zoning public hearing items. She's an awesome employee who is instrumental with helping the public and colleagues through the public hearing process. One thing I really, really admire about Erica is not only is she a great employee, but she also is a double black belt Taekwondo instructor. I could not resist Erica. In her personal time, she builds furniture, collects plants, and she also is very involved in her community. And so I really appreciate once again for your hard work. Congratulations, Erica.
Thank you. I just want to thank the commissioners, the mayor, chair, my director, my assistant directors, my chief, my team, who works really hard with me. It's a lot to live up to. And I promise that I'll continue to strive to live up to greatness. Yes. Thank you so much. Mostly greatly appreciated.
Anything in my This concludes the presentation portion of our meeting. We are now going to get started with some of our statements that need to be read into the record. We will start with the City Attorney's Office. Mr. City Attorney.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Chair. Sorry. Any person who is a lobbyist pursuant to Chapter 2, Article 6 of the City Code must register with the City Clerk and comply with related city requirements for lobbyists before appearing before the City Commission. A person may not lobby a city official, board member, or staff member until registering. A copy of the code section about lobbyists is available in the City Clerk's office or online at www.municode.com. Any person making a presentation, formal request, or petition to the City Commission concerning real property must make the disclosures required by the City Code in writing. A copy of the City Code section is available at the office of the City Clerk or online at www.municode.com. The City of Miami requires that anyone requesting action by the City Commission must disclose before the hearing any consideration provided or committed to anyone for agreement to support or withhold objection to the requested action pursuant to City Code Section 2-8. Any documents offered to the City Commission that have not been provided 7 days before the meeting as part of the agenda materials will be entered into the record at the City Commission's discretion. In accordance with Section 2-33F and G of the City Code, the agenda and the material for each item on the agenda is available during business hours at the City Clerk's office and online 24 hours a day at www.miamigov.com. Any person may be heard by the City Commission through the chair for not more than 2 minutes on any proposition before the City Commission unless modified by the chair. Public comment will begin at approximately 9 a.m. and remain open, it's after that, and remain open until public comment is closed by the chairperson. Members of the public wishing to address the body may do so by submitting written comments via the online comment form. Please visit www.miamigov.com/meeting instructions for detailed instructions on how to provide public comment using the online public comment form. The comments submitted through the comment form have been and will be distributed to the elected officials and city administration throughout the day so that the elected officials may consider the comments prior to taking any action. Additionally, the online comment form will remain open during the meeting to accept comments and distribute to the elected officials up until the chairperson closes public comment. Public comment may also be provided live at City Hall, located at 3500 Pan American Drive, Miami, Florida, subject to any and all city rules as they may be amended. If the proposition is being continued or rescheduled, the opportunity to be heard may be at such later date before the City Commission takes action on such proposition. When addressing the City Commission, the member of the public must first state their name, their address, and what item will be spoken about. Any person with a disability requiring assistance, auxiliary aids, and services for this meeting may notify the City Clerk. The City has provided different public comment methods to indicate, among other things, the public's support, opposition, or neutrality on the items and topics to be discussed at the City Commission meeting in compliance with Section 286.0114, subsection 4C, Florida statutes. The public has been given the opportunity to provide public comment during the meeting and within reasonable proximity and time before the meeting. Please note that commissioners have generally been briefed by city staff and the city attorney on items on the agenda today. Anyone wishing a verbatim record of an item considered at this meeting may request it at the Office of Communications or view it online at www.miamigov.com. Planning and zoning items shall proceed according to Section 7.1.4 of the Miami 21 zoning ordinance as temporarily modified pursuant to emergency ordinance numbers 13904, 03, and 13914. Parties for any planning and zoning items, including any applicant, appellant, appellee, city staff, and any person recognized by the decision-making body as a qualified intervener, as well as the applicant's representatives and any experts testifying on behalf of the applicant, appellant, or appellee, may either be physically present at City Hall to be sworn in by oath or affirmation by the City Clerk, or may appear virtually and make arrangements to be sworn in by oath or affirmation in person at their location by an individual qualified to perform such duty. Pursuant to emergency ordinance number 13903, members of the general public who are not parties to an action pending before the City Commission are not required to be sworn in by oath or affirmation. The members of the City Commission shall disclose any ex parte communications to remove the presumption of prejudice pursuant to Florida Statute Section 286.0115 and Section 7.1.4.5 of the Miami 21 zoning ordinance. The order of presentation shall be as set forth in Miami 21 and the City Code. Staff will briefly present each item to be heard. The applicant will present its application or request to the City Commission. If the applicant agrees with the staff recommendation, the City Commission may proceed to its deliberation and decision. The applicant may also waive the right to an evidentiary hearing on the record. For appeals, the appellant will present its appeal to the City Commission, followed by the appellee. Staff will be allowed to make any recommendation they may have. Please silence all cell phones and other noise-making devices. This meeting can be viewed live on Miami TV, the city's Facebook page, the city's Twitter page, the city's YouTube channel, and Comcast Channel 77. The broadcast will also have closed captioning. In addition, I need to make an announcement with respect to Brownfield that will come up at the meeting, at the next meeting. pursuant to Florida Statutes 376.80, which requires that an announcement be made at a City Commission meeting preceding the meeting where the City Commission may or will consider the designation of a brownfield. I'm announcing that at the September 22nd, 2022 and October 27th, 2022 City Commission meetings, the City Commission may or will consider a resolution designating the properties located at 5601, 5615, and 5645 Southwest 8th Street, Miami, Florida, 33134, as possible brownfield sites within the City of Miami for the purposes of environmental rehabilitation pursuant to Florida Statute 376.80. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. City Attorney. Mr. City Clerk, do you have a statement to read into the record?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Chair. The procedures for individuals who are providing testimony to be sworn in for planning and zoning items and any quasi-judicial items on today's City Commission agenda will be as follows. Members of the city staff or any other individuals required to be sworn in who are currently present at City Hall will be sworn in by me, the City Clerk, immediately after I finish explaining these procedures. Those individuals who are appearing remotely may be sworn in now or at any time prior to the individual providing testimony for planning and zoning items and or quasi-judicial items. Pursuant to Emergency Ordinance Number 13903, those individuals appearing remotely may be sworn in at their location by an individual qualified to administer the oath. After you are sworn in, please be sure to complete, sign, and notarize the affidavit provided to you by the City Attorney's Office. Each individual who will provide testimony must be sworn in and execute an affidavit. Please email a scanned version of the signed affidavit to the City Clerk at thannon@miamigov.com prior to providing testimony on the planning and zoning item and or quasi-judicial item. The affidavit shall be included in the record for the relevant item for which you will be providing testimony. Commissioners, are you comfortable with all the notice provisions set forth in these uniform rules of procedures we have established for this meeting?
Yes.
Chair, may I administer the oath for the planning and zoning items?
Please.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. If we be speaking on any of today's planning and zoning items, PZ items, planning and zoning items, may I please have you stand and raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give at today's meeting is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? And your response is? Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. At this time, we will address the city manager and any items that the city manager would like to defer or withdraw from our agenda.
Good morning, Madam Chairwoman, Commissioners, Madam Mr. City Attorney, Mr. City Clerk. At this time, the administration would like to defer and or withdraw the following items. CA3 to be deferred to October 13th. FR2 to be deferred to September 22nd. PZ2 to be deferred to October 13th. And I may have one more. Hold on a second. PZ2, October 13th.
Is that it?
Well, there is one more. Hold on one second.
I'll do it. I'll go ahead and do it. RE6, Madam Chair. RE6.
Hold on one second. Okay, you're finished?
That concludes my items.
Yeah.
Okay, so in order,
Well, I'm adding to his list. He asked me to do it.
RE6?
RE6.
Okay, RE6 is deferred indefinitely? or-
Indefinitely.
Okay. Mr. Vice Chair, do you have any items that you would like to defer, withdraw?
What is the number for the item for City Brickell Center?
Say again, sir?
The
Sorry.
City Brickell Center, what item is that?
What?
BC 6 and 7.
PZ
6 and 7.
6 and 7.
Huh?
BC 6 and 7.
Okay. I'd like to defer that for the next meeting, and let me stay in the record why. They have sent me, which I received yesterday, copies of contracts and other information. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to go through it, and I think you all know why. But years back, when my brother was sitting here, he made sure and wisely thought into the future that we needed another fire station there. Because the only fire station that covers Silver Brickell, West Brickell, parts of Silver Bluff and Shenandoah and the north end of Little Havana is the one in Second Avenue. And that area is just too highly congested. So we need badly a second fire station. They're offering a temporary one, but I want to make sure, and I want to be able to speak to the fire chief, the members of the fire union, that the agreement that was entered into years back is correct in how they're interpreting, or how I might interpret it, or the city attorney might. This is a life and safety issue. One meeting is not going to matter to them, but it could matter into the lives of a lot of people, that because we don't have a second permanent fire station, might not get a fire rescue truck quick enough, or even if a fire is going, we might not get a fire truck there quick enough. It's a large area to begin with, but it's also an area that is extremely dense in population and has tremendous amount of traffic, because a lot of the traffic that comes from downtown Brickell either leaves or comes into that area. And I would request also the administration to go through that carefully with us also. So that's why I like to defer this item for the very next meeting.
Through the chair, I had also received the same information that you have, and I had received information from the other side. You see, they have statements. They made statements that the city is some to blame, and what I want it is that I want to find out what's going on, why it has taken so long, and also if we have not done what we should have done as a city, as an administration, and in order to correct it, because there is a statement that part of the delay is blame on the city. I don't know if it is true. I don't know if it is not true, but I would like to clarify that too, because definitely we need a fire station in that area. You see? So I support Mr. Carollo on his.
I agree. I did receive similar communications, and I'm very concerned about the issue, and it's really a life safety issue. So we need to get into that, clarify, and make sure what is happening is what is supposed to happen. Now, I'm going to continue with our items. If any of us wants to defer, I'm going to go in order. Now, you don't have any?
Those two PC items, I'd like to defer them.
Yes, okay. Commissioner Russell, do you have any items to defer?
No, but I'd like to make a comment on 6 and 7.
Okay.
Please. Thank you, Madam Chair. Obviously, this is a major development within my district, and I've been following along with it for the last 7 years. I've worked closely with them and can assure that once we do review, you'll find that they are and have been in good faith cooperating with both the fire department and our administration, and conceded on two major issues. One was to create the temporary fire station when they knew there was going to be a delay, and that's an additional $1 million cost for them that they've already purchased the materials and have been storing them for nearly 2 years, waiting for the permits for that temporary station. And two, that they've now proffered continuity of service between the permanent and the temporary and the permanent version, which was not in the original agreement. But something else that you may or may not be aware of, the original SAP, the Second Amendment, at least, to the SAP, there was a provision of $1 million toward affordable housing that they had proffered a few years ago. that we had negotiated, that also is getting delayed based on the non-activation of the North project. And so in conjunction with this rezoning, which is unrelated, they have agreed to front-load that $1 million as soon as they get the demolition permit on this project, the zoning that we're looking at. So the sooner they get to demolition, the sooner we get the $1 million for affordable housing, which is divided equally amongst our commission districts, which is a very good thing and much needed. So I'd like to just put in that they have been a good faith partner in this effort, and that everything that the fire department then had required of them, they are at the table with. So I'd be in support of moving this today, but of course, in deference to my fellow commissioners, I look forward to all of us catching up on this and moving forward. Thank you.
Commissioner Reyes, do you have any items that you'd like to defer or withdraw?
No, I don't.
Okay, let me give the manager the ones that I want to. Mr. Manager, I'd like to defer PH1. I'd like to withdraw PH1. And I'd like to indefinitely defer PZ3, 4, and 5. I'd also like to co-sponsor PH5. May I have a motion?
And Chair, just for the record, I have, it's my understanding that Commissioner Reyes would like to co-sponsor RE5. I also have you, Commissioner King, as a co-sponsor for PH7 and RE3, is that correct?
PH7. RE3. Yes, for RE3 and PH7, yes.
Through the chair, I
Yes.
would like to also co-sponsor PS3, which is Liberty City. It is supplemental budget for the Liberty City Community Rehabilitation Trust. It is much needed. I would like to co-sponsor that too.
And that would be RE3, Commissioner
RE3,
Reyes.
yes.
Understood.
Mr. Clerk, you put me as a sponsor on all these items with them?
Yep.
Madam Chair. The same thing, PH5, the Liberty City Community Revitalization Trust, RE3.
That's right. Okay. And PS5.
I'm sorry, what's happening with RE3?
What, RE3?
PH5?
No.
Yes.
We're co-sponsoring PH5.
Okay.
And that's it, Madam Chair. Oh, I'm sorry, and the Manuel Balado Avenue, RE5,
RE5.
co-sponsor.
Okay. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Second? All in favor?
I'm sorry, Chair, who was the seconder? I have Commissioner Diaz-Berti as the mover.
Arroyo.
Commissioner Carollo is the
Thank you,
second.
Chair.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. I'm sorry.
Good morning, Madam Chair.
Yes.
Spencer Crowley, 98 Southeast 7th Street, here on behalf of Swire and on the Brickell City Center matter. We are all here today. We're ready to present. We understand that you all need some additional information, and that's fine. We're happy to meet and explain the past here, the history. Is this item deferred to our next meeting? We just wanted to clarify. Okay.
September 22nd.
Thank you. September 22nd.
September 22nd
Okay.
meeting.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
By the way, thank you for behaving very professionally and sending information to my office as quickly as possible.
Sure. We have nothing, I mean, we're here to help. We're here to discuss these issues, recount the history. So whatever you guys need, we're here
We've had
to.
a good relationship with Swire for decades, so.
Right.
Like to keep
And we know that you all are supportive and look forward to explaining this and getting through it. So thank you.
Thank you.
Likewise.
At
Thank you.
this time, we are going to open public comments. You may speak on any item that is on the agenda for today. Any item that appears on the agenda today, you are welcome to speak. Thank you all for coming. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Paige Golombeski, and I reside at 3295 Gifford Lane in Miami. I'm a graduate student at University of Miami, and I worked at Virginia Key Outdoor Center. Today you will hear from several people, some just living blocks away, or some from nearby towns. I ask that we respect those that took time from their work schedules to come voice their opinions. Oh, thank you. Just as you heard the thoughts and opinions from Jorge Mas, a Coral Gables resident, and the other lobbyists who have come on this podium prior to this meeting. Miami is a growing and thriving city. Many residents from nearby towns frequent Virginia Key, have lunch at Bayfront Park, shop at Brickell City Center, and so on. They contribute to the local economy by supporting businesses in the city of Miami. Some have family members who live in the city and were unable to come in person due to their work or school schedules. Today, you will hear just how one park and one small kayak concession affected people, not just in the city of Miami limits, but beyond. And I hope you can choose to listen and respect their time just as we do to you. Thank you.
And my apologies, Sarah. Can I get the speaker's name again? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you at first. Just your name on the record. I'm sorry, I didn't.
Paige Golombeski.
Good morning.
Good morning, Grady Muhammad. Director Intergovernmental Affairs, Nation of Islam, Muhammad Mas, number 29, 7th Regional Headquarters. Covers the state of Florida, the Caribbean islands, Central and South America. Speaking in favor of PH7 for the Overtown Youth Center, but I have concerns with PH6 and RE3. PH6 is the MLK and Focal. It seems like over the last 7 to 8 years, all our anti-poverty initiative funds have been going to Focal and Martin Luther King Economic Development Corporation. They're wonderful organizations, but we have more than just these two entities and organizations that deserve funding, anti-poverty initiative funding in District 5. And specifically relating to RE3, which is the Liberty City Trust. We call it the Liberty City Who We Don't Trust and Don't Care Nothing About Us. They haven't met in over a year. The board has not met in over a year. That means there's been no services to be provided to the community outside of some youth positions and jobs. But for the economic development, which is an organization that's supposed to help with economic development in the community, if the board is not meeting, they can't have plans, a PO, a plan of action to help the community, the Liberty City, model city, to be able to overcome the rent that's increasing, to build houses that create affordability, to help provide affordable housing, as well as services that they needed, services to the businesses. So unless we're going to continue to give $1,100,000 to an organization that has not met in a year, and we're paying salaries to this organization, and this is complete incompetence in leadership for a board not to meet in a year, we still to give them $1,100,000. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning, Madam Chair.
Please don't, there's no clapping in the chambers. Please don't do that. Thank you. You can do like this, but please no clapping. Good morning.
Good morning. Bradley Luft, 2280 Southwest 32nd Avenue. Thank you for the opportunity to speak, Madam Chair and the rest of the commissioners. I was the operations manager for the Virginia Key Outdoor Center, and I'm also the son of Esther Alonzo, an outspoken advocate for the protection of Virginia Key, as well as the sole proprietor of the Virginia Key Outdoor Center. Over the past 7 years, we've done something that is very seldom seen by small businesses. We've run an operation that was both caring, educational, and environmentally sensitive, and we did so successfully. We have sown the seeds for a lot of young people who in the future are going to become environmental activists, environmental scientists, and just responsible recreators. And we've provided memories for tens of thousands of people who are going to remember nature in Miami, and are going to remember Miami, and hopefully come back to Miami to enjoy that kind of thing again. I would just like to ask today that you consider another opportunity for us to fix things and continue doing the good that we've done. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Anthony Parrish, address is 3940 Main Highway. I'm here today on PZ1 as the designated spokesman for your Planning, Zoning, and Appeals Board, also known as PZAB. In March of 2021, we passed a resolution at PZAB asking you to consider legislation to help resolve complaints that we hear very regularly at PZAB. People come before us saying that their voices are not, from the neighborhood, saying that their voices are not heard early enough or strongly enough when new developments are proposed in their neighborhoods, And as we all know, Miami is a city of neighborhoods, probably more than 24 of them at least, each with its own character, demographics, history, needs, and requirements. And also Miami is also rapidly growing in neighborhoods that before, especially your district, Commissioner, and also Commissioner District 2, were not in the path of rapid development, now find themselves high and dry and close in. And so your Miami 21 Review Task Force also spent months and months reviewing the code to address the same question of what kind of city we hope to be. So where this came about, there was a potential conflict between Miami 21's two stated goals for intent as set forth in Article 2. The conservation goals says number 1 is preserving neighborhoods, historical resources, and the natural environment. And the development goals include maintaining the future growth capacity of the city core to ensure its preeminence as the transit-oriented, pedestrian-friendly focus for the region's economic, civic, and cultural activities. So instead of trying to amend the intent language in the code, your planning staff worked long and hard and has done a brilliant job of balancing existing neighborhood preservation with the needs for new development by proposing amendments to the design review. I'm just finished.
Thank you.
I'm here on behalf of your PZAB.
I understand, but we have a lot of people who are waiting to speak, and
Okay.
everyone gets 2 minutes. Thank you so much.
So I'm asking you to withdraw PZ1.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Chaplain Stanley Young. I'm a chaplain here in Miami. I'm at 2020 First Avenue, where I go out and I assist in the homeless and those that are incarcerated that are coming back to our community to get acclimated back into our community right. And I have been doing this for over 26 years as a chaplain to help and assist inmates. But what I want to talk about today is DI1, the overreach of this board trying to interfere with a trust that was set up by the people. This is something Governor DeSantis has started up in Tallahassee. It has now come home here to Miami. And I'm here to shout out and let you guys know you're overreaching to reaching out and doing and messing around with Virginia Key Beach Trust. That trust was set up and it was funded by the people of this great society, and it needs to stay that way. You are really going outside of your bounds of actually dealing with this matter. You really need to reconsider your actions concerning regarding the Virginia Key Beach, because I really do believe that this is an overreach of government that is started in Tallahassee is now coming home here. I have spoken with Guy Fortune. He was very upset, and I told him I was going to come down and share with you guys that this is an overreach and this is something that we need to cease and we need to stop doing in government, telling the private people, you know, what they can and cannot do with their organizations. So this is an overreach, and I wanted to let you know. Thank you.
Madam Chair? I just want to clarify, there may be a confusion because DI1 is not about the Virginia Key Beach Trust.
I know, but I didn't want to stop him from having that such a passionate public comment, and we can clear that up. I'd like to ask all of my colleagues not to make any comments in response to public comments that we have this. Let's have all of our public comments, and then we'll talk about it as the item comes up. Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners, and thank you for listening. My name is Sonny McLean. I'm one of the co-founders of Virginia Key Alliance. I live at 4066 Malaga Avenue in the Grove. The Virginia Key Outdoor, so I'm speaking on DI1. The Virginia Key Outdoor Center opened 7 years ago and was quickly embraced by Miami citizens because this was something they wanted. They wanted to be outdoors, recreating safely in a quiet, natural space. And why did this happen so quickly? Back in 2007, for 3 years, Miami citizens met to discuss the future of Virginia Key. What came out of all those meetings was a desire to keep Virginia Key as a park, as a natural environment for Miami citizens to enjoy both on land and water. This resulted in the Virginia Key Master Plan. The Virginia Key Outdoor Center represents the best of the Virginia Key Master Plan. This is a place where people can go to be on the water in human-powered vessels safely, and I emphasize safely, because the other water that is available on Virginia Key, the Miami Marine Stadium Basin, has become unsafe of late. You all know there have been 2 deaths there. So Virginia Key Outdoor Center provides something that is greatly needed for those who want to enjoy a unique space that the city of Miami has to offer her citizens. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Chairwoman King, Vice Chairman Carrillo, Commissioner Reyes, Commissioner Russell, Mr. Della Portilla. It's a pleasure to be here in front of you today. My name is Naomi Orioles, and I'm speaking on behalf of Virginia Key Outdoor Center. My son, Alexander Zabowski, has been attending Virginia Key Outdoor Center for several years now. And I have to thank you for allowing them to exist in business for as long as you have. And my hopes here today is that you guys will reconsider allowing them to reopen. As a single woman, as a single professional in the city, they have been able to provide a safe space for children like my son who have a great interest in water sports and fishing. And Esther, Brad, Diana, and the rest of the team have been a monumental part in raising my son. And I know that if my experience has been so positive, there's many others that have had the same experience, and I hope that the city can really consider coming together and forming a plan to let them reopen and continue providing a positive impact in our community, just as you guys have done with many items. I really appreciate all of your positions. I know you guys are working very hard towards the betterment of our city, and I trust that you guys will act in good faith and definitely allow them to open, considering they've provided such a positive impact in our city. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
Good morning.
Good morning, all. My name is Dennis Phillips. I was born in 1955 here in Miami-Dade County. And when I was a kid, they called it the first nigger beach of Virginia Key. But it's 3 items I want to cover. I'm advocating really for the homeless, but I want to first say Virginia Key Beach is the Black Historical Beach Preservation. Second, I'm against the Virginia Key Beach homeless. You know, homeless should not be at a historical preservation site. I mean, it should be preserved for better things, like, you know, same as Dorsey Park. It's enshrined in the betterment of people. Okay, next point. The homeless needs housing, stable. I mean, but first of all, let's look at the real situation around homelessness. Let's look into the aspect of these homeless people need medical and mental help. Most of these people probably qualify for subsidy income. So it wouldn't hurt to put them in affordable housing where it can be paid for, and the city don't have to lose any money just building up appropriate affordable housing. I mean, it can pay,
Thank you.
pay for itself. and,
Thank you.
You know, all right.
Thank you for coming. Good morning.
Good morning, Suleiman Jivani, 1104 Southwest 12th Court. I like to bring up this unsafe structure orders for the properties that are in foreclosures, and the orders have been signed giving 60 to 180 days to make plans, open permits. But when actually the property is sold at the courthouse steps, and when the new buyer comes in who paid all cash, he approaches the city works with him, and something changed middle of June. They canceled all of the approved process numbers and put a demo order on the property saying, we are going to demo it. Because the original order, which was signed while the property was under the foreclosure procedure, didn't apply or didn't follow the rules. So at this point, the city doesn't want to accept the approved process numbers. So my request is if you guys can consider that the unknown party who had no notice is going to lose its investment. And I have seen in the dockets that a lot of companies have been filing lawsuits on the city of Miami for the same exact reason. So I hope you guys can do something about it, or we can meet one of you and explain you the situation. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. Hello, my name is Julie Malfers. I have been a resident of Allapattah for 17 years, and I've been an employee of the Miami VA Hospital for 20 years. But today I'm here on behalf of Virginia Key Outdoor Center and representing my son, who was the first camper at Virginia Key Outdoor Center 7 years ago, has evolved to become a counselor at the center, and has developed a love for marine life and outdoors, kayaking, paddleboarding that never would have happened if it hadn't been for Virginia Key Outdoor Center. My son currently attends Mast Academy, where we drive every day from Allapattah to Mast Academy and back, because he wanted to go to the same school that the counselors at VKOC went to. I have never been to a city council meeting. I appreciate the opportunity to speak. My parents are both graduates of Miami High and Miami-Dade College and the University of Florida. I chose to raise my son in Miami for a reason, and I'm watching that reason disappear. I have heard nothing. I've read the agenda. There's planning, development, planning, but I don't hear anything about saving our blue space and our green spaces. That is why people come to Miami. For our children, our families to be outdoors, out of our houses. The pandemic made that more evident than ever, that Miami is a wonderful place to live, and we are watching it be destroyed with overdevelopment. Thank you for the opportunity to speak.
Thank you. Good morning.
Thank you, Madam Chair. My name is Leah Kennard. I live at 9040 Southwest 97th Terrace. I've lived in Miami for over 50 years, and my favorite spot in Miami is the Virginia Key Outdoor Center, which I'd like to speak in favor of. You're renegotiating with them to reopen the center. And Mr. Noriega, when I hear you talk about the procurement center and you talk your staff, and I kept thinking the words that you used about your staff are the words that could be applied to the staff who are sitting here, but they have all lost their jobs. And I would like very much to see the center reopen. It's an oasis for cyclists at the end of Arthur Lamb Road. It's a welcome center for tourists who come to Miami and who are looking for a green space. It's the best place in Miami for the young and the old to learn how to kayak and paddleboard. It's a place where manatees are known by name. I would like to also say that Esther Alonzo is a dedicated person who understands our community, understands Virginia Key, I think, better than most people, and gives extraordinary service to our community and the people of Miami. I'm very interested in your being able to renegotiate with them, and thank you very much for this opportunity to speak.
Thank you. Good morning.
Hello, and thank you for the opportunity to comment today. My name is Yvette Alexander, and my comment pertains to the Virginia Key Outdoor Center, and more importantly, the future of development on Virginia Key. I'm a 10-year resident of Coconut Grove, a South Florida native. I'm a mother of 2, and my comments today are made in this capacity. I'm also the executive director of ARI, an organization who works to make the outdoors a place of belonging for all in partnership with Everglades National Park. That is exactly what I see Virginia Key and the Outdoor Center do day in and day out for thousands of Miamians. They're making it the outdoors a place of belonging for all. And we have in turn fallen in love with this unique and special place. Our family visits Virginia Key on a weekly basis. We found the Key and the Outdoor Center an asset for our physical and our mental health. We connect with wildlife that can only thrive there because it's undeveloped. The reddish egret, only 200 breeding pairs left in our state. Sea turtles, Florida manatees, they're all there to enjoy. My daughter learned to paddleboard at the center's camp, and we are not alone. All of Miami can be found on Virginia Key in their hundreds across spectrums of backgrounds, race, language, income levels. They gather, they recreate, they seek respite from an overly developed city with little remaining green space, let alone natural habitats. It's a place where our wildlife and us can coexist and enjoy one another. I'm also a volunteer sea turtle nesting surveyor on Virginia Key with the Moraes Foundation. And this year we logged 127 nests for the endangered loggerhead sea turtle, which is a big win for the species. So I think as a city we can do better for our homeless than drop them in a place where there's no place to buy food, access transportation, or health care. Let's preserve Virginia Key as an undeveloped recreational space for our citizens and our wildlife. If you have not yet kayaked with the manatees at the Outdoor Center, marveled at the jellyfish while the ospreys soar overhead, I invite you to do so as soon as possible. It is the highest form of magic that the Magic City has to offer. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm Madam Renita Holmes, Executive Director of Waiver Women in Public Housing, Education, Finance, and Development, Our Homes, Business, and Property Services. For the clerk's reference, my interaction with you is in regards to SR1, RE3, PH5, PH1, and PH6, which basically is asking for funding for specific groups to do things that I don't believe that they're the only ones qualified to do. It's all about inclusiveness, and I appreciate you thinking about the homelessness, because on number SR1, with having the residential landlords pay for displacement monies after the result of being on repair and demolish, I was almost homeless. But because I had no offices, no net offices, and no interaction with my leadership, and it's moved totally west of 6th Avenue, I see even down here in Coconut Grove where opportunities for specific of us who need that help need to have a conversation with our leaders. And a lot of those homeless persons you get are displaced. Some are persons with disability. I don't think we'll fit inside that thing, but what I see is the bigger picture. However, I'm very disappointed that the current board as it is has not followed up on what Athlete Range really wanted for us. That there has not been no real development, and I think before we start putting monies into specific groups to do specific things, have conflicts of interest and biasness, this pattern and trend of allowing our neighborhoods to be just by one leader on this diocese is bad, and it's unfair and it's uncivil. And with that, I'd like to continue to have a conversation with you in writing and allow some other people to say it's not fair, and it's not what Mother Range would have wanted, and we could do better. Thank you so kindly, and I appreciate you, Commissioner Carollo, and I appreciate you, Commissioner Reyes, looking into the uncivilness of some of the activities that have occurred. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning, Honorable Chairwoman King. My name is Sharon Fraser Stevens. I'm sorry I sound like this because I have a motorcycle shop that's robbing up their engine. He's a block away from my house, and he's robbing up his engines. So when I walk outside to walk my dogs, I start getting hoarse. That's an environmental clean air part. But greetings, Honorable Commissioner King. My name is Sharon Fraser Stevens. I stand here in your presence because I am tired. I am tired of the filthy living in my community. Sorry. Filthy living in the filthy community breathing contaminated air. We the people. What happened to we the people? Citizen participation. I live, eat, work, and play in my community, which I love. I love eating, socializing with the community residents at local restaurants and community businesses, exchange ideas engage and educate them why it is so important for them to be involved in their children's education. Lastly, I have seen in the past years the city of Miami and Miami-Dade County government continue to give our tax dollars to non-for-profits that is not doing and supposed to be creating great deliverables. So I say, give the tax dollars to the non-profits that are doing great deliverables. Thank you, Commissioner King, for Derek Colas. Derek Colas is my to-go person in my community. I really need garbage bags, I need gloves, I need rakes, and I need the grab sticks to pick up the trash because I want to organize a cleanup in my community because code enforcement have not did it. And that's the reason why I'm down there, Honorable Commissioner. I am sad to see the area that I live in living so filthy. God bless you.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. How you doing? My name is Theophilus Williams, 1391 Northwest 95th Street. I'm totally against homeless being on Virginia Key Beach. When you're putting people in a tiny house, they don't have bathrooms, shower. So where they gonna shower and where they gonna urinate in the bushes? That's gonna start a whole lot of stuff. My question to y'all is: there plenty vacancies on 18 that you can build homeless and bring them over there? I think it's a bad communication when you don't hold meetings with the resident and the taxpayer who put y'all in position. My second opinion, with the Virginia Key Center, after the pandemic and after all the people went through to get back up on their feet, and for everybody to come back and take their livelihood from them, that's bad. And when we're talking about killing and violence, that's what the Center for, to help the kids. I think y'all need to look at this real carefully and sit down and meet with them. And it's a First Amendment speech. And when they're speaking for their rights, don't take it personal. Sit down with them. See, a lot of things y'all taking personal. You know, and it's sad to see these people. I read the paper, and it is sad for them to go through this. And the mayor should, if y'all holding the meetings or a press conference out there, then come and talk to them. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning, Chairwoman Crane and Commissioners. My name is Diana Perez. I live at 2280 Southwest 32nd Ave. I am the Director of Marketing and Operations at the Virginia Key Outdoor Center. And when I tell you that August 12th will be a day that I will never forget, I will clearly never forget this. On August 12th, for those that are in the chamber that do not know, I was greeted by 7 police officers for a code inspection. 7 police officers and 2 code enforcement officers came to the Virginia Key Outdoor Center while we had our summer camp in full swing. They asked for my ID for record-keeping purposes. I did not hesitate to give them my ID. And what started as record-keeping purposes, I was later served an arrest affidavit. I was told that in the city of Miami, it is a criminal offense not to have one of these permits. And since I was the one responsible at the time of the shift, I would be the one that the arrest affidavit would be served to. On September 20th, I have a court hearing because I am now being charged for a misdemeanor because I was just working at the outdoor center and the police just happened to come and serve me the arrest affidavit. I'm sorry if I do get emotional because it's a little bit traumatic. I've never had any past experience with law enforcement. I have nothing on my record. And to just be doing my job and to be told if I do not sign this, then I will be arrested on a Friday afternoon past 4 o'clock. If I had not signed that form, I would have been processed and who knows when I would have been released. Thank you for your time, and I really do hope you consider working with a small family business and making sure that we are able to reopen. Because I can tell you, Commissioners and Honorable Chairwoman, my staff is sitting around here. My staff has been unemployed since August 12th. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning, Honorable Chairman and everybody in attendance. My name is Humberto Gonzalez, and I've lived in Miami for the entirety of my life. I live on 28th Street, in fact. As I've lived here, I couldn't help but notice my friends and family struggling with finances and jobs as I grew up. Despite this, my parents always did their best to give me the best upbringing they possibly could, including traveling all over the United States and Europe. Throughout my travels, I've been to national parks not limited to Monument Valley and the Redwood Forest. Virginia Key is just as important as these locations. It drives tourism to those who wish to experience something that isn't completely manufactured, like the Miami Aquarium right across the street. The Virginia Key Outdoor Center provides this resource where locals and tourists are allowed to rent kayaks and paddleboards to explore the last truly natural part of Miami, where you can float alongside manatees and gaze upon the vast seagrass beds below their watercraft. Not only does the Virginia Key Outdoor Center provide this experience, whether it's a guided one or not, but it provides awareness to the environment around us that we should protect. The children who come to our summer camp are taught to respect nature and appreciate it. Some of them are so adept at finding conch shells and sea urchins to the point where I wonder why they aren't on our payroll. If the Virginia Key Outdoor Center is set to close, it would only allow people to stay uninformed to what's all around us and pave the way for more destruction to the mangroves holding our coastline together, as well as the Sadowski Critical Wildlife Area just west of the island. I ask for the Commission to reconsider this decision that will not only affect the people and the environment, but my livelihood, as I'm a former employee of the Virginia Key Outdoor Center. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Sarah. I'm 21. I'm currently kind of living out of my car right now. I'm a full-time EMT. I work overnight on the ambulance, and by day, I work at a nonprofit called the International Seakeeper Society. We have partnered numerous times with VKOC, which is why I'm here to speak today, because I do have personal connection to it. We do a lot of beach cleanups, a lot of educational outreach. We take high schoolers out on floating classrooms on generous yacht donors who volunteer their boats for educational purposes. And VKOC has been awesome in partnering with us for the past few years in doing beach cleanups and educating the public. And I also have personal connection just going on my own and being there and paddling and kayaking and seeing the beautiful nature that Florida has to offer. It is disheartening to me that they've been around for years and the code inspections have just now come up, so I kind of am confused and not understanding that. I think VKOC is such a huge asset to not only Virginia Key, but the Miami community in general and for economic and tourist purposes, so it makes me very sad to see it shut down. I also am very saddened to see all of these wonderful people that have helped me personally and my organization go out of unemployment. And I really think it would behoove you to, if there were code violations, I wasn't there, I don't know, like help fund that permit that they need or help like subsidize whatever they need to do to get back up and running because they affect so many people. I thank you for your time today and please reconsider how you're working with Virginia Key.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning, Madam Chair. James Torres, President of the DNA. We'd like to show support for a couple items. CA2 and RE7, which relates to the Miami River Commission, the education, awareness programs, and the beautification. And we also like to make a side comment to that as we're moving forward on the budget items, if we can really consider something along the Marine Patrol, because they do need further assistance on what's going on the Miami River. And then on a side note, we'd like to thank Commissioner Joe Carollo for the MAF situation that's going on in downtown Miami. The neighbors, thank you very much. Also the DDA as well for the support that's going on with the cleanup and everything with the rules and regulations. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Dr. David Chen. I actually had this written thing, but I'm just going to speak from the heart. I'm here to represent two organizations, the Florida Paddling Trails Association and South Florida Paddlers. My life's mission is to help people. I took up kayaking, paddling as a way to help people. It's a wonderful way to enlighten your mind and seek peace. And the events of this past month have been groundbreaking and trembling to me. The Florida Paddling Trails Association, its mission is the same as the South Florida Paddlers, to encourage people to go outside and enjoy the outdoors and to preserve our environment. The closure of Virginia Key Outdoor Center has been a death blow to paddling in the Miami area. There's no place like Virginia Key for paddlers. You have a treasure in your backyard that you're about to take away. If you think about Virginia Key and take it away, there is really no place else that you can go out to recreate and enjoy the outdoors as Miami used to be. It'll be another developed, inaccessible to the public area. So I seriously ask you to reconsider and please do not develop Virginia Key. Leave it the treasure that it is for the people of this city. You will lose a valuable, wonderful place to recreate. It'll be gone forever. You will regret it. The homeless people will not be helped. And this is not the legacy you want to leave. So please, reopen Virginia Key Outdoor Center. Preserve Virginia Key as the treasure it is. Do not develop it. Do not proceed with this plan. Help the homeless in a more sensible manner. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Cortez Maria Lewis James, and I stand here in awe that I even have to come and talk about humanity. Where did you all get the right to make homeless people criminals? To make a decision to dump them in a historically black area and think that that was okay? I'm angry, I'm hurting, I'm bothered because I'm looking at the commission and I don't see me. So I wonder if my words are in vain. I wonder if I stand here pleading for humanity, will you do anything? How do you sleep at night? How do you go home to your spouses and your children, knowing that you all collectively, may not be individually, collectively have failed the people of the city of Miami? And you do it collectively over and over and over again. It's inhumane. It's not right. And so I don't plead, I don't beg. I just say do the right thing. Treat people as you would want to be treated. Folks fall on hard times. You have also. You've just had the privilege of the world not seeing it. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning, all. My name is Michelle Hobson. I'm an avid kayaker, stand-up paddleboarder, mountain biker, and runner. I'm extremely familiar with Virginia Key, as I have paddled there, run there, beached there, and although I have yet to use the mountain bike trails, I have many friends that do. VKOC was my gateway into kayaking. It is there that I rented my first kayak and enjoyed meeting the manatees for the first time, and subsequently joining in on a few sunset paddles. Since then, I have found a love of the sport and have been able to introduce others to VKOC as well. Being a long-distance runner, I have also run over Rickenbacker Bridge and into Virginia Key countless times. I'm very aware of the area and the remoteness of it. There is in no way sounds like a good idea to relocate the houseless population. From the proposed site to get to the nearest bus stop is just shy of 2 miles. That's a 35-minute walk. They will be 5 miles from the closest grocery store, urgent care center. They won't have easy access to necessities or even a job close by. They will be miles from anything. To sum this all up, Virginia Key, being a barrier island miles away from any services or city amenities, should be kept a local park for all to enjoy the beauty and nature that is so rare these days and should be protected from further development. I urge you to reconsider and let Virginia Key reopen. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning.
Hi, my name is Ann Eubanks, and I'm here to speak about Virginia Key Outdoor Center as well. I just want to reiterate what all the people have said before me. I've lived in Miami a really long time, and I wasn't sure about raising my family here until I found gems like the Virginia Key Outdoor Center. My family spends most weekends out there. We paddle, we mountain bike. My kids have learned how to mountain bike out there and how to paddle. They go to summer camp out there. The staff there is incredible. They're so helpful, and they work tirelessly to educate us on the environmental issues out there, on things that we can do to help keep Miami cleaner. They protect the coasts, they clean up the beaches. It's a place where the manatees can go, where they're protected, where they have their babies. It is where the sea turtles can lay their nests. This is just a place where we can find peace and quiet in the city. I've seen the mayor and his son out there renting kayaks and kayaking. I know this is a very important place to many, many families and their kids. We have lots of high-rises. We have lots of overpriced cocktails. Please don't take away more of these green areas and these places where we can be in nature, or you will start to lose families like mine. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning.
Morning. My name is Zach Spicer. You might be surprised to hear that I'm here to speak about Virginia Key. And I'd like to echo a lot of previous speakers that this is very saddening that we have to come down here and ask for these people to return to their employment that they've held for many years and not done anything wrong. But I had the pleasure of visiting the outdoor center earlier this year. My friends and I kayaked alongside manatees, families with children, and the passionate staff members in what was one of the best days of my life. With so few natural spaces left in this county and so few protections against disasters, the plan to close Virginia Key Outdoor Center could not make any less sense. Volunteers with the Outdoor Center maintain a healthy stewardship of the space, cleaning up plastics and replacing invasive plants with their natural counterparts. Is just part of the way they encourage a relationship between humans and nature that is not extractive, but rather is restorative and regenerative. Their dedication to the space, their kindness, and their passion is palpable. The last thing that Virginia Key needs is development. The last thing that South Floridians need is development on Virginia Key. As I hope that you know, the ecosystem in Virginia Key is responsible for protecting not only my home, but your home, and the homes of thousands of others in South Florida. My time at the Outdoor Center was unlike anything else I've ever had the pleasure of doing in this city, and I can't imagine any benefit in taking that opportunity away.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Valerie Rieder, and a family. My name is Valerie, and a family discovered Virginia Key around 5 years ago, and it became a family favorite place since then. You can rent all sorts of adventure gear in there, get a snack, get some water to refill, and shower or sit in the shade and rest and get a snack and talk with your friends about adventures. We have 3 kids who basically growing up around Virginia Key. We're there almost every weekend. Anytime family or friends come to visit, we take them there. You can rent anything you need for them there. Our kids participate in summer camp there this year, and it was the best experience for them. They were very happy every day. Every day they come back, and they could not wait for the morning to come back. They learned a lot about outdoors and nature in there, and even met some manatees and all sorts of new friends as well. I believe all people and kids especially need their time in nature. It's important for their physical and mental health. Virginia Key gives our family and many others the chance to enjoy and explore our wonderful Florida. So please, let's keep the Virginia Key for recreation. Our kids have only one childhood. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Yanelise Valdez, and I'm here to also speak about the Virginia Key Outdoor Center. Like many have said, Virginia Key is a historically Black landmark in our community, and it deserves to be protected and preserved. When the plan to move our houseless neighbors to an encampment on the Key was announced, our community immediately spoke out in opposition. Our houseless community also deserves to be protected and cared for, not displaced, especially not to an area that is not equipped to house people. We are already feeling the repercussions of this plan by the closure of the outdoor center. Like many have said, a place where families in our community go to enjoy our beautiful ecosystem. It was heartbreaking to see the closure, and even more so hearing from staff like Diana and the trauma that this inhumane decision has caused. Developing this area will, without a doubt, harm our environment, and it won't actually do anything to provide support for folks experiencing houselessness. I want to urge this commission to keep the outdoor center open. It provides such important services in our community. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, Madam Chairwoman, Commissioners. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. My name is Fernando Vasquez. I'm a resident of Key Biscayne. 30-year engineer, specifically relating to flood control issues. And I wanted to bring up a couple of issues that I thought as side challenges and regulatory inconsistencies that I wanted to kind of put out there for you to think about. I find the site inadequate from the standpoint of its location. We all know it's a flood hazard area. It's qualified as a Zone AE, Special Flood Hazard Area, which is highly regulated development in the Florida Emergency Management Agency, and I would like to know what you're all thinking about that. It's also impractical from a construction and building codes, which most of them require to be above the finished floor, above the base flood elevation. So given a contour of 5 and that area floods up to 9, what are you going to have? You're going to have a 6 or 5 feet of difference between the finished floor and where these residents live. I also find it contrary to the Executive Order 11988 under federal government, which requires avoidance to the extent possible for the long and short-term adverse impacts associated with occupancy and modifications of floodplains. And I also like to bring it to your attention the inconsistency with the City of Miami, Virginia Key Master Plan that called for accessible park recreation, protection and enhancement of natural resources, sustainable initiatives and low carbon footprint, and integration and preservation for the historic Virginia Key National Park. I'd like to leave that with you. These are some key points that I think we need to take into consideration before we move forward, because otherwise I think we'll be setting a terrible precedent out there for any further development. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good morning. Hi, my name is Caro. Thank you for having me here to speak. I've been a resident of Miami pretty much almost my entire life. And I'm here to speak today in opposition of shutting down the Virginia Key Outdoor Center. I think that this place is a gem to our community, as you've heard everybody here say. And I wanted to, the plan to move forward not only takes away a community space, but I just wanted to say that it also commits several human rights violations. I'm not only here as a concerned resident, but also as a human. And I don't see the humanity in this plan. There's a ton of implications that show me where all of your priorities are with this plan. And honestly, it also shows me what your plan for the future of Miami also is. What is really your vision for Miami if you are simply looking to displace the people who need you the most? Your plan not only affects the houseless community, we're here to call it what it actually is, an internment camp. And y'all refuse to call it by its proper name for some reason. Not only is the space vital for our community, it's most importantly a historically Black landmark that we're talking about here. And I'm here to tell you that taking that away from our community not only highlights that wealth inequality, it's crushing the people that actually make the city run. A proper solution doesn't include segregation, it doesn't include displacement, it doesn't include putting the people you don't want to see away from eyesight, away from your luxury condos, away from your luxury developments and high-rises. It actually puts opportunities in people's hands. That's what advancement would look like, and that's what proper protections would be. You all know that this is inhumane while you all sleep at night in your nice little houses, and those who don't have a place to sleep have to be outside in the heat all day. You see all of us here.
Thank you.
Katrina Irwin, I'm here today on August 12th, you all closed down the Virginia Key Outdoor Center, served arrest affidavits, and further increased the unemployment rate in Miami. If the encampment project has been paused, why are you doing this? I understand that some of you believe that what you're doing will benefit the community, but this has actually posed several threats to climate justice. Miami's homeless population is 60% Black, and you're trying to deport them to an island that is difficult to access and house them on a historically segregated beach. Do you all not see the racist undertones of this idea? If we truly want to solve the housing issue in Miami, then we must invest in affordable and permitted housing solutions, not encampments, and ensure these people have access to public transportation and job opportunities, none of which Virginia Key has. Not only will the Virginia Key homeless encampment community fail to help Miami's homeless community, you will be also putting them on the front lines of the climate crisis by housing them on a beach that will be hit firsthand with the impact of extreme weather and sea level rise. Did you plan to have an evacuation route for extreme weather events, or will this turn into another Hurricane Katrina situation? Miami is sinking, and you are throwing at-risk members of our community right off the boat. Please listen to the advocates here today and stop these initiatives. These people have intensive background knowledge in justice issues and do so much work for Miami's homeless community. If you truly want to help Miami's homeless population, please listen to the people here today and work with us to create real solutions. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for the opportunity to be here. My name is Jonathan Gartrell. Hi to everybody. Hi, Ken. I remember seeing you at Bands Off Miami. So great to see you here again. I'm not going to say anything that's new. We've seen how Virginia Key is important in the present. There are people that live there and work there and families that use it. We've seen how it's important in the past, how it's a historically black and landmarked island. We've heard from developers and people that talk about climate crisis that this is not a viable plan, that the infrastructure for this is poor. And like wrapping that all together, we've heard that this is kind of segregationalist, concentration camp, racial undertones. And it's hard to believe that you couldn't see that. So I would implore you, because you know that Miami is experiencing a ton of growth and a ton of development right now. Everyone's telling you that this place doesn't need to be developed. You also have the ability to give in to the possibility of handling this problem in a new way. And there are so many organizations. I'm one of them. I work with one of these organizations that are handling this. I've been working with the houses community for 2 years, and I've seen various obstacles given by the city, bureaucratic, obstacles that are unnecessary, preventing us from feeding, doing housing sweeps, destroying their property. There are new ways to handle this. So I would suggest that you give into the possibility of handling this in a new way instead of deliberate apathy, because this looks like deliberate apathy and it smells of corruption. So thank you. Have a lovely day.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for allowing me the ability to speak. I'm Nashma Jones, and here to speak about historic Virginia Key Beach. Only in 1950s and 1960s did Black people get the right to access the beaches that their tax dollars maintained. And now, in another 70 years, due to the climate crisis, there may be no beach to access. Sites like Virginia Key, Eula Johnson and Von D. Meinsdale State Park, and other historically Black beaches, establishments, landmarks are essential to the cultural fabric here in Florida. So the proposal to create an encampment for the homeless in historically Black Virginia Key Beach, which is comprised of a population of over 60% Black people, is not what we mean by historically Black. When we say historically Black, we mean Black excellence. When we say historically Black, we mean the preservation of said history. And frankly, this proposal is a mockery that comes on the heels of the Adopt a Homeless program, asking Miami homeowners to house people on their front lawns. And it also comes on the heels of an affordable housing crisis where $56,000 a year cannot afford a person in the average one-bedroom home in Miami. You all are at a precarious point of political and social history at this moment, and it can go one or two ways. And we hope that Miami is on the side of justice, people over profits, and housing for all. Miami-Dade County and the city of Miami own over hundreds of vacant and underused properties and lots that can be used to create sustainable, efficient, and effective housing, allowing for the development and the positive impact of all social determinants of health for all members of our community. I urge you all to reconsider this proposal and to vote against any proposals that are similar, congruent, or tangential. Thank you.
Morning.
Afternoon. My name is Mistress May. My pronouns are they, them. I'm the founder of Decrim 305. We work to decriminalize sex work in Miami-Dade County, many of which experience homelessness. And sex work is the only means to which they are able to rise above poverty. As a servant of the Overtown community for 2.5 years, I don't wait for the city to provide those resources. I put those resources, and my team puts those resources directly into street-based sex workers and houseless individuals' hands. And this Virginia Key plan would stop that from happening. Every 2 to 3 months, We get going, we give people resources, we get them to where they need to be, and then you guys come in and you sweep in Overtown, and then they have nowhere to go. Down to the trees, you put chains around trees so they can't have shade in the heat. None of you on this council would dare sit outside for 5 minutes. And you would condemn people to sit outside for all that time. It's deplorable. You're holding people hostage. It's absolutely inhumane, and you should be ashamed of yourselves. And that's all I gotta say.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Nicholas Thuran, and I'm here with Transit Alliance Miami. Our office address is 1101 Brickell Avenue. I think I'm speaking for many people here when I say that we don't want to be here fighting this, but here we are. We're here today because it seems that the response from the city of Miami to our housing crisis, to decades of structural violence, inequality, to class and racial discrimination, is out of sight, out of mind. However well-intentioned, this proposal is nothing less than a perpetuation and fomenting of these very injustices. When news first came out about this plan to build a houseless encampment, it was so unpopular that the plan was put on hold. On August 12th, the city sent code enforcement to shut down a compliant, contributing business owner and force 17 people out of work. We are putting our most vulnerable residents on flood-prone land, miles away from the resources necessary to lift oneself out of poverty. The nearest bus shelter, for example, is over 2 miles away. You say this is voluntary, but do we honestly expect folks to trudge dangerously across the Rickenbacker Causeway just to get there? What happens to people if and when they refuse? The ordinance should not and cannot move forward. So what we want from you is accountability. We want your compassion, we want your humanity, but most of all, what we want is housing. Please vote no. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning.
Hello. My name is Luna. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm a youth community activist. I grew up in Little Havana, and I just graduated high school this past June. I'm here to speak as a youth in our community in solidarity with our houseless community. Houselessness is a problem that hurts us all. Houselessness is an unnecessary act of violence and is completely unjust. It is an issue of public health, and it does not exist as someone else's problem. The issue of houselessness is a responsibility for all of us to solve. In the current world, we have entire communities pushed out of their homes and neighborhoods as wealthy real estate developers come in and forcefully push them out. We have luxury apartments and houses here in Miami that sit empty, built by these same wealthy real estate developers. And these homes sit empty as people sleep on benches and sidewalks. Why are we not filling these empty homes with people? There's no real answer for why this isn't commonly accepted. There's nothing actually stopping us from ensuring that everyone has a roof over their heads and has a bed to sleep in. We need to confront the root of these issues. I'm here to stand firmly against the sweeping and the plan for deportation of our houseless neighbors to Virginia Key. These are our neighbors. These are people who have nowhere else to go and are just trying to find a safe place to sleep and stay. Displacing them to an internment camp is cruel, legally questionable, unconstitutional, and a threat to public health and safety. I wish I did not have to come here. I wish I did not have to be here right now to tell any of you to do your jobs and serve our people. I should not have to tell any of you that we should want people who are unhoused to have access to affordable housing, and that displacing houseless people to an island will only make this worse. It is cruel, it is ineffective, and it is endangering public safety, not protecting it. Instead of investing our tax dollars into a ridiculous plan, we should be investing in safe, affordable housing.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. This is a really frustrating process because I have not heard any one person speak in favor of closing the outdoor center or putting the homeless on Virginia Key or developing Virginia Key, yet here we are.
Could you push the mic closer to you?
Pardon?
Push the mic closer to you so we can hear you. Thank you.
Okay. Did you hear what I said?
I did,
About the
but I don't think
frustrating-
everybody
Okay,
could.
Sorry about that. My name is Karen Bieber. I hope you're taking public comments, not because you have to by law, but because you want to hear from the people you have been elected to serve.
You were elected to take care of the beautiful city of Miami, and that is all-encompassing, including the people and the environment. It's no small task, to be sure. Miami has one of the most beautiful and fabulous natural environments in the world, and it is in no small part why everyone wants to be here. For people's lives, for our lives to be full, among other things, we need fresh, open air. We need a place to appreciate God's creatures and creations, to play, to explore, to learn, and to enjoy. And this is Virginia Key. It's a gem in an amazing crown that is South Florida. You were elected to lead the way, and to be good leaders, you need followers, of course. What better example than to lift people up and give opportunity, to leave a legacy that is much more than a bank account? How proud will you be when your children, your grandchildren, their children, and their grandchildren say that you saved Virginia Key? So how can people follow this lead? There are two very important pathways to caring and to good stewardship, and those are education and experience. Education and experience, and these are precisely what the Virginia Key Outdoor Center provides to everyone, to people who elected you, and even to those who did not, to everyone in Miami and everyone who visits our city.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning.
My name is Anthony Boatwright, and I represent Southwest
Sir.
Miami-Dade.
Sir.
I'm sorry. I'm here to say I'm from a city where dope represents more opportunity than hope. You are supposed to be the hope. Each and every one of you, I'm pretty sure, was appointed by someone that believed in what you told them. I just want to know, when that decision was made to oust these people, who shook whose hand? Who thought that was a good idea? When that person said we should get these people away from society, how could you look in each other's faces and make that decision? I represent 47 years of lost opportunity and false hopes. Dope is providing more opportunity than hope, and that's ridiculous. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm here to speak on Virginia Key. My name is David Peary. I am the founder, executive director of the Miami Coalition to Advance Racial Equity. And excuse me, my voice is a little hoarse because I was yelling outside. And I hope you heard us. As I said, I'm here to speak about Virginia Key. I'm not going to repeat the arguments that everyone has made. As you know, the opposition is overwhelming. Overwhelming, okay? And not just locally, internationally. I got contacted last week by a reporter for BBC who was very much interested in this idea of deporting the homeless to an island. Miami is becoming an international embarrassment. So I'm not here to beat up on you guys. What I would like to do is ask you to show some leadership, to step up and show some real leadership in making Miami into a world-class city. You cannot arrest your way out of homelessness. You cannot keep beating up the homeless, thinking that you can just correct them. I have been homeless. I have slept on the streets of Miami. I slept underneath the Brickell Bridge, the Miami Bridge, for 2 years. I know what it's like to be homeless, and homelessness is not a choice. Why do you think that 60% of the homeless is black, which is 3 times more than general population? And it's not because that black people are 3 times more likely to be drug addicts, mentally ill, or lazy. No, it's the system that's broken, not the people. You need to, please, I urge you, step up. Stop blaming the victims of poverty who are condemned to sleep on our city streets. Enact housing first policies, permanent supportive housing. This is fiscally irresponsible. You're wasting money. You are not going to solve homelessness by beating up the people, isolating them, arresting them, or criminalizing it. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Noel Cleland.
I'm here representing Sierra Club in Miami. I'm the chairperson of our group. And I'm just going to state the obvious, and that is that Virginia Key is a jewel for South Florida. We all realize that. And one of the reasons it's a jewel is because it's one of the few places that remains undeveloped, and it has remained that way through decades of development around it. And it's a place where people can go as a refuge to see what Miami used to look like before all the development happened. And it's up to you to think about the future and think about the vision that comes along with doing the right thing. And I would use as an analogy New York City. I think everybody's heard of Central Park, even if you haven't been there. That piece of land is worth immense amount of money, but yet the people in New York City would never think of developing it because it's too important. It's a green space. We need to protect the green space in Miami, and that's one of the few places left that we have to do that. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Kat Dusterhouse. I'm a board member of Florida's National Organization for Women. And I'm here today because we are in a housing crisis, as everybody knows, but that crisis hits most hard people that are currently unhoused. And this crisis is driven by the fact that the basic principles of housing first are not being followed. I could not identify a single item on the Housing First checklist from the United States Interagency Council on Homelessness that Miami is practicing. The lack of permanent and supportive housing for our most vulnerable population and the barriers to accessing any services at all is unfathomable, especially when the data proves providing permanent housing is the only effective method to reducing homeless recidivism and is more cost-effective as compared to providing any other services, as well as the cost to communities at large. As stated in the 2020 study, Housing the Homeless by E. Cohen, housing assistance programs for the homeless can indeed reduce recidivism to homelessness, in addition to improving other economic and social outcomes that contribute to improved likelihood of successful rehabilitation and reintegration to society. The same study confirms the estimated impact among individuals in temporary housing programs is no different from receiving no housing assistance at all. So we need permanent and supportive housing services. I also wish to bring to your attention, as a representative from the National Organization for Women, that putting women in a tiny village on an island in an internment camp is not what they need. They need permanent and supportive housing. Women need permanent and supportive housing. We need to get people off the streets and into homes. It's that simple, not to an island. Thank you.
Good morning.
Hi, my name is William. I'm just a guy. The thing with housing is I always say this to all my young people, and all my young people know this. I am one broken leg from being homeless. And I feel like that's what we need to tell you guys. Like this AC, this is nice, cool AC y'all got here. Y'all some rich people up in here. I don't have that. I'm very close to being homeless right now. If I gave you all the money I had in my pocket, you guys would owe me $47. So what I'm trying to say is I'm trying to protect people that are like me and that can end up being homeless. I don't want to go to Virginia Key, guys. There's nothing around there, guys. There's no grocery stores. There's no hospitals. There's no nothing. There's no bathroom. Like, I'm a big guy, you know, like, I'm supposed to walk over a bridge to go to the bathroom or go to a hospital, you know, like, that's not fair. I feel like we need to, like, house these homeless people. There's so many empty apartment buildings that no one can afford. You know, there's so many apartment buildings that nobody can afford. We need to be better for our homeless community, and we need to, like, do the right thing here, guys. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, my name is Lionel Fage. Being a former homeless, and went to Camilo's house, so I know how it is when you're homeless, how painful it is. And I'm on a part of Camilo's house called CAB, Consumer Advisory Board. So we're working with the homeless, picking them up, get them health care, motivate the homeless. We have a program called Lazaro program. They were not vulnerable. We pick them up and then we give them the help of life. But for me, the project of, how do you call it, Key Biscayne, Key Virginia, I don't think that's a good one for the homeless, being a former homeless. Because from what I heard, it's a little island by itself. They don't have no resources, no market to shopping, no health care around. So for me, I just come in here and be out speaking for the minority. I don't think that's a good idea. Maybe you could come in here with a better one. That's what I want to say.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Lorena Delgado. As a lifelong resident of the city of Miami, I have bared witness to the many issues that our houseless population face. And while the intention of this program may have been good, and the action for the homelessness crisis is long overdue, the displacement of our houseless population to an island riddled with insects, isolated, miles away from hospitals, away from society, is nothing short of cruel, and not to mention unsafe. This will not solve the problem, and this location is entirely unsuitable for this project as an ecological treasure that the people in Miami have enjoyed for years. I urge you to vote no and stop the development of this encampment on Virginia Key.
Thank you. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Well, good morning, and thank you very much for the opportunity. My name is Frank Fernandez. I've lived in this community since 1962. Went to Auburndale Elementary School, Shenandoah Junior, graduated from Miami Senior High. I am here to tell you that Virginia Key, over the past 7 years, has been the gateway for the citizens of Miami, Miami-Dade County, from all over the country and all over the world to enjoy the city of Miami in a way that they are never able to see in any other way. The vantage point that you get from Virginia Key is second to none. I've hosted tours through Virginia Key Outdoor Center there, manatee tours, full moon tours. I actually conducted the last full moon tour out of Virginia Key Outdoor Center before the center was shut down by 7 uniformed City of Miami police officers while they were children on the premises. That is reprehensible. By the way, I just received a link from National Public Radio. This has become a national issue right now. It was broadcast on National Public Radio within the last couple of days. I urge you to reconsider the plan. Other people much more qualified than I am have already spoken regarding the lack of merit of the plan to banish the homeless or the houseless people to an internment camp on an island. That is just not sustainable. I urge you to continue to work with Virginia Key Outdoor Center and to keep the center open. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Stacy Stokes. I've lived in the city of Miami for 25 years. I've been sailing at the Virginia Key Beach for close to 40 years. Over those years, I've seen developers try to move into the Virginia Key area over by where the outdoor center is, and failed. So I think all of you knew that this proposition was going to be a tremendous failure. There's no positive aspect that has been mentioned anywhere about why in the world you would want to put homeless people on an island. I noticed about, I don't know, maybe it was 5, 7 years ago when Esther started the outdoor center, I said, wow, somebody is really developing a great recreational area here. This is so unique. I was not surprised to hear about the code enforcement. I was not surprised to hear about commission meetings moving, and I couldn't find an agenda for today. I wasn't surprised at that either. I wouldn't be surprised if there was never an intention to put homeless people there at all. In fact, to move the homeless there and later move them out, or never build it at all, but let a developer come in, that seems to me a more likely scenario. Virginia Key is the one and only truly natural, accessible water access in the city of Miami. In a place where there's virtually no nature at all, Why on earth would anybody propose to take that away? It will absolutely impact the sailors. It will absolutely impact the bicycles. And I want to point out, if nobody else has, that there's a petition over this that's now beyond 17,000 people. That's like one of the biggest petitions online ever. Not ever, but on the, in that petition thing. You know, it's not like anybody's not looking. So please allow this woman to put her business back. It was clearly
Thank
doing
you.
well.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening.
Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioner. If I could get the control people to plug my computer into the video screen.
Which
we go.
item are you speaking on, Elvis?
I'm sorry?
Which item are you speaking on?
I'm going to speak briefly because it got deferred on the Sable Palm Village SAP, PC.
But that's not before us.
Yeah, I know. So I'm just going to take like 20 seconds.
Okay.
It may be my personal record for my shortest presentation.
Okay.
So very briefly, I wanted the commissioners to be aware that Miami 21 requires SAPs to be in scale with the character and surrounding of the area. And this is what they're proposing. Just take a good long look at it. This is clearly out of scale and character. 20 stories, an enormous, enormous project. And it would demolish over 500 units of affordable housing. Like I said, I'm just going to keep it short and sweet today. Thank you so much for indefinitely deferring it. I hope it never, ever comes back. And lastly, I wanted to mention CA6. I spoke about this last meeting. I'm hoping that this CA6, as part of this, that you can put the seawall at the shoreline in Morningside Park as they do at other city parks and preserve that wonderful recreational green space. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning.
My name is Mariana Oriano, and I wanted to reiterate what everybody has said so far in terms of the value of the spot in Virginia Key for the homeless. So there are experts there that don't support it, and many people are opposed to that, despite what they really need. You cannot be homeless and expect to be brought into society and live without kitchens, bathrooms, air conditioning. That is the basic right that they need. And that you're going to do this and take away from your residents our opportunity to have a central park, access to nature, to be able to have a group that manages for how many years to take people kayaking, eco tours, appreciate the environment that we have there, preserve it. They have taken that on, and they give us a wonderful service. So even if you put this on delay, why don't you sort out the problem that whatever issue they have, that they apparently have had for many years, sort that out, let them continue their work, let the community have the services that they enjoy and the access to water and nature. And I beg you to preserve the park. And it is not an individual thing. To say it's not part of the historical part of the park, it's an entirety. The same way that Commissioner Portilla said he wanted any specific site should take into account the environment. This environment is precious. You will never be able to replace it. And I don't think that you'll be able to replace the Virginia Key Outdoor Center and the people that have been running that. Thank you very much, and I appreciate your reconsidering. And I don't think that this is the last you'll hear from the community about this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning. I don't know if it's time up here, so let's cut to the chase. It is a violation of the very concept of justice to tear the houseless out of our community and exile them to an island with little in the way of infrastructure. Time after time, cities decide that they don't want to deal with those who are marginalized, people who are traumatized, abused, and told consistently that they are a nuisance and not human beings. Out of sight and out of mind doesn't solve the problem, it just affirms a comfortable lie that everything is fine. If you do this, those that come after us will curse you when you are safe in your graves. They will see a lack of compassion, of humanity in their history books. Another chapter in a story of cold calculations made for political expediency and profit. Do the right thing throughout this measure.
Chair, I'm sorry, if I get the speaker's name? I'm sorry.
My name is Stephen Rocha. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
good morning. I have a presentation, but should I wait for that until later, or
No, go ahead.
do it now? Okay.
IT is coming to help you.
Pardon me?
IT is going to come and help you.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
you have a presentation that's going to be only 2 minutes?
No, I thought I had 10.
You see, that's what I had that suspicion that it was going to be it's going to be more than 2 minutes. What I want to ask is that when the discussion item comes in, provide the herd with the opportunity
To do the presentation.
to do the presentation.
Okay. So you can do it when when the discussion item comes up about the Virginia Key.
Okay, so I'll wait for now.
You'll wait for now.
Okay, thank you.
So that will conclude the public comment portion of this meeting. Thank you all for coming and sharing with us your views. At this time, we will take up our consent agenda. Do I have a motion to move CA1, CA2, CA4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12?
Move it.
Do I have a second? All in,
Chair, my apologies, just for the record, CA6 needs to be amended on the floor. Do you want me to read the amendment, or is it okay just to indicate that it needs to be amended on the floor?
you can go ahead and read the amendment.
It is being amended to reflect the total funding awarded for the projects in 2021-22 and total funding awarded for Resilient Florida Grant Program in 21-22 and 22-23.
Okay, thank you.
And CA10? CA10, the exhibit is being substituted, and the official results and certificate of the Miami-Dade County Canvassing Board are being entered into the record as backup documents.
Okay, so I have a motion. Do I have a second? All in favor to move the consent agendas?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. We are on the public hearing items. Do I have a motion to move the public hearing items?
So moved.
So I have a second. So we.
Chair, I apologize. PH 5 needs to be amended. I believe it's a hyphenated last name that needs to be added.
Do you know for sure? Yes. Okay, as amended.
That's amended.
So we will be moving PH 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimously. PH items have been moved. We are now on the resolution items. Do I have a motion to move the resolution items?
So moved.
A second?
Okay, so I have a motion and a second to move items RE 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, and 9. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We are on the second reading items. Do I have a motion
move
to
it.
move the second reading items?
Moved.
Do I have a-
Second?
Madam Chair, I need to read the titles for all of them before a vote.
Titles must be, okay. Go ahead, Mr. City Attorney.
That's right.
SR 1, an ordinance of the Miami City Commission amending Chapter 10/Article 6/Section 101 of the Code of the City of Miami, Florida, as amended, titled Buildings, Unsafe Structures Panel, to require certain residential building owners to house and pay for reasonable relocation costs of displaced residents, and should the owner fail to provide sufficient housing, further require reimbursement to the City of Miami, Florida for any relocation costs paid by the city, providing for placement of lien on owner's property for any unreimbursed relocation expenses incurred by the city, amend notice provisions and enlargement of time for compliance after notice of violation, and to clarify enforcement options containing a severability clause providing for an effective date. SR 2, an ordinance of the Miami City Commission with attachments amending Chapter 18 of the Code of the City of Miami, Florida, as amended, titled Finance, more specifically, establishing a new Article 4 titled Grants, more particularly establishing an initiative titled Miami's Economic Accessibility Initiative, EAI, in an effort to support the rapid increase of activity in the City of Miami's technology industry by offering resources to ease the economic burden of city residents, requiring that any recipients of funding from the EAI execute an agreement with the city which address the scope of services, performance measures, invoicing, conflicts of interest, and other material terms that may be applicable to the use of funds, approving guidelines for the EAI, authorizing the allocation and appropriation of funds from the Office of the City Manager's Venture Miami Initiative account, number 0001.150009.882000.0000.00000, in amount not to exceed $1,100,000 to a special revenue project fund titled Miami's Economic Accessibility Initiative, further amending Chapter 18, Article 3, Section 18-72 of the Code of the City of Miami, Florida, entitled Finance, City of Miami Procurement Ordinance, Application and Exclusions, by amending Section 18-72B to exclude from the requirements of the City of Miami Procurement Ordinance EAI allocations of up to $50,000 in any one fiscal year provided to any single entity, authorizing the city manager to execute any and all necessary documents, all in forms acceptable to the city attorney for the said purposes stated herein, providing a severability clause and providing for immediate effective date. SR 3, an ordinance of the Miami City Commission amending Chapter 2/Article 2, Section 2-33 of the Code of the City of Miami, Florida, as amended, titled Administration, Mayor and City Commission, Order of Business and Rules of Procedure, by creating new subsection O to provide for the automatic continuance of city commission meetings when a quorum is not available, containing a severability clause and providing for an effective date. SR 4, an ordinance of the Miami City Commission amending Chapter 2, Article 2, Section 2-33L of the Code of the City of Miami, Florida, as amended, entitled Administration, Mayor and City Commission, Order of Business and Rules of Procedure, to provide for consideration of emergency matters at special meetings of the City Commission, containing a severability clause and providing for an effective date. SR 5, an ordinance of the Miami City Commission amending Chapter 2, Article 11, Division 21, Section 2-1328.1 of the Code of the City of Miami, Florida, as amended, titled Administration, Boards, Committees, Commissions, Wynwood Business Improvement District, Wynwood Design Review Committee, to amend the requirements for qualifications in terms of office for members of the Wynwood Design Review Committee, and to amend the functions, powers, and duties of the WDRC, that's the Wynwood Design Review Committee, containing a severability clause and providing for an effective date. That was the second reading ordinances.
Okay. Mr. Chairman? There she is.
Do I have a motion and a second?
So moved.
All in favor?
And Chair, I'm sorry, just for the record, SR 3 and SR 4 are going to be amended to allow for an immediate effective date.
So moved as amended, SR 3 and SR 4.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 SR, the second reading ordinances have passed.
Madam Chair,
Yes, sir.
I'd like to reconsider RE4,
Reconsider RE4.
and then after we reconsider it to defer indefinitely.
All right.
We passed it accidentally, it got biased in our haste.
Okay.
In our haste.
So is there a motion to reconsider RE4?
So moved.
All in favor
So
to...
there was I'm sorry, there was a motion to reconsider by Commissioner Diaz-Portilla, seconded by Commissioner Reyes.
All in favor to defer RE4?
No, that's just to reconsider.
To reconsider?
To reconsider RE4.
Aye.
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 I now move to defer RE4 indefinitely.
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
RE4 has been indefinitely deferred.
Okay.
We are on first reading ordinances now. Mr. City Attorney, would you please read the ordinances into the record, the titles?
Thank you. FR1, an ordinance of the Miami City Commission amending Chapter 54, Article 4, Section 54-138 of the Code of the City of Miami, Florida, titled Streets and Sidewalks, Naming of Streets and Numbering of Buildings Expenses, to remove requirements related to a sunsetted board, containing a severability clause, providing for an immediate effective date. FR2 was deferred. FR3, an ordinance of the Miami City Commission amending Chapter 62, Article 17, Section 62-663 of the Code of the City of Miami, Florida, as amended, titled Planning and Zoning Covenants for Affordable or Workforce Housing, Requirements, Enforcement Provisions, and Penalties for Restrictive Covenants associated with affordable or workforce housing related to development incentives, benefits, or bonuses, by adding subsection 62-663, subsection 9, to clarify and provide a process for administratively authorizing partial releases and subordinations of certain affordable housing covenants related to and required by government-backed programs, financing or refinancing, containing a severability clause and providing for an effective date. FR4, an ordinance of the Miami City Commission amending Chapter 38, Article 6 of the Code of the City of Miami, Florida, as amended, titled Virginia Key Beach Park Trust, by amending Section 38-233, titled Governing Body, Composition and Appointments, Terms of Office and Vacancies, Membership Eligibility Requirements, Oath, Quorum and Voting, Meetings, Attendance Requirements, Indemnification, to establish the appointment to the trust governing body by the District 5 Commissioner, Mayor, and City Manager, containing a severability clause and providing for an immediate effective date. FR5, an ordinance of the Miami City Commission amending Chapter 12.5, Article 1, Division 3, Section 12.5-44 of the Code of the City of Miami, Florida, as amended, titled Community Revitalization, Community Revitalization Districts, Little Haiti Revitalization Trust, Governing Body, Composition and Appointments, Terms of Office and Vacancies, Membership Qualifications, Procedures for Appointment of Members, Oath, Quorum and Voting, Meetings, Attendance Requirements, Indemnification, to amend the requirements to allow for the appointment of first responders to the trust, containing a severability clause and providing for effective date. That is it for the titles. I would also point out that, Madam Chair, that there was, I think, a floor amendment for FR3. I can read that into the record if you would like.
Madam Chair, I would like to offer a friendly amendment on FR4.
Okay.
The friendly amendment will be that the District 5 Commissioner should be the chair constantly, perennial, be chair of that board, and the selection of the board members should be the District 5 should have 2, and each commissioner should have 1. Manager doesn't have any reason to having 1. Instead of having District 5 having 1, it should have 2, and each one of us have 1.
Well, thank you for proffering for me to be the chair. I do not want to be the chair. I think the organization will operate perfectly well. I would like to keep the 5 appointments and allow them to have a chair through the appointments, but I would like to have the appointment by the manager to be at large, amended to have the manager at large, but I would like to keep the 5 appointments.
You mean that District 5 will have all 5 appointments?
Yes.
That goes against the way that all the boards are. I mean, we all have some saying or some input in the every single board. That's why it has been, the way that has been decided is that each board, each commissioner has an appointment in each of the boards. You see, even.
Go right ahead.
This is where I stand. I have no problems whatsoever that you get to name a majority of this board. However, I said that I have no problem that the District 5 chairman, a commissioner, gets to name a majority of the board. However, like in the CRAs, like in other trusts and boards that we have, we need one of us to be the chairman and take responsibility, take hold of what's going on there. So what I'd like is to, instead of you naming and appointing 5 members, you appoint 4, and you will be one of the 5 automatically that would chair it. That's important, so that if we're giving up votes of our own, we need to have the safeguard, the security that one of our own is heading this. I hope you've had the opportunity to have read some of what's been written so far by the Inspector General on the draft. I don't know when he's going to finish it, but we should request of him that it be done quickly so that this could be open. But we can't have this trust or any other trust or agency or semi-independent authority from the city being run like this one is, and then pretending that, gee, I'm a poll that I've been asked questions on it, like Mr. Guy did the other day, and I just heard someone say today. So, yeah, I will be happy to approve you as chairman, that you get to name 4. The mayor can appoint 1, or if the commission would like, that appointment, and the city managers could be then at large from the commission. But one of us needs to chair that, and I think you're the appropriate person to chair it.
Madam Chairwoman,
Yes.
I think that all of us should be chairing it, like the Omni CRA or the Overtown CRA. And what I believe, so I have a different idea. I believe that every commissioner here should be the chairman of this board. That way we don't have to appoint anyone. We're all accountable. We're duly elected. We're the ones that could see it and oversee it. And I think that you should be the chairwoman and oversee the whole thing. That's normally happens with the Omni CRA, all that, like you do with the Overtown CRA. You, in essence, are the person that makes most of the decisions. But I believe that every member of this board, based on the report that I read, and I read the whole report, I'm not happy with how this is being run. And I think we have a responsibility to be completely accountable and transparent to the people of the city of Miami, that we're the ones that are elected and we're the ones that make the decisions, not some appointment that can later come here and sometimes be disrespectful, sometimes not be accountable, many times not be transparent. And all I heard, all the public discourse this morning and what I've been hearing in the papers and the comments that were made in the last commission meeting, I think this commission should chair the board. That's my suggestion.
I don't think that us as a body chairing the historic Virginia Key Beach Trust is a good idea. I do believe that I should have more input because I am the Black commissioner and I will be sensitive to our historic Black beach. There has been a lot of discussion about what this body has undertaken with the Virginia Key, and that's going to come up as a discussion item. One of the misconceptions was that the Tiny Homes Initiative was going to be placed on the historic Black beach, which was never the case. It was never true that this initiative was going to be placed on the historic Black beach. But I took a lot of heat for that. And as such, I believe that if I'm going to be held responsible for the historic Black beach, then allow me to be responsible for the historic Black beach. And that is why this item is before us now. But I do not want to take away the authority of the board as it stands right now. That is not my intent. I want to work with them. I understand that there are some issues and challenges with the trust, but I want to get in and help them. I don't want to take the authority away from them. I will chair the I will chair the trust if that is the will of the body, but I do not think that it would be fruitful for all of us to be a part of the trust.
Ma'am, hold on a second. Ma'am, since I started this, I think that I'm asking for, give me a chance to explain.
While we do work together in the CRAs, let me say that, we do
Yes.
work very well
We
together.
work together.
We work very well together.
That's absolutely true.
But the
I
trust
do
is-
agree.
But the trust is not the CRAs.
It is not.
The Virginia Key Historical Trust is not, there. It is not a CRA entity, which is why I would like, at least for now, give me a year to work with them, and then we can reconsider if we should change the makeup of the body to make this body.
May I finish? I'll continue. You see, I do understand that the Afro-American community has a lot invested in that area, in that trust. And I also understand that you had received a lot of heat for what's going, it was uncalled for, but you have received a lot of heat because what went on when people were, it was decided to consider Virginia Key as a place to put the homeless. And given the fact that that trust is in charge of the museum, the Black Museum, and it is so much intertwined with the history of the Afro-American community, that is why I had proposed that the chair of that board be the District 5 commissioner. And also, I want every single one of us to participate or have some representative in that board that will represent what are I would say, the policies that I want to see implemented, how the money it is used, et cetera, et cetera. That's why, and to give you additional power, that's in my proposal, I am giving you two appointments. The one that actually belongs to the manager and yours, and allow each one of us to appoint somebody that will represent us in that board. That's the only thing that I think it will fit fair.
I understand, but again, my position would be, I will accept being chair if that is the will of the body, but I do want to maintain the 5 appointments, and one with the mayor and one at large. That is what I'd like to see happen. We can change it in a year if you find that it is not working and have this body become a part of the trust. But I would prefer if you would allow me to operate as I have recommended for a year. And let me hear from my colleagues to my left.
Madam Chair, with all due respect, Virginia Key is much bigger than the Black Museum we're going to build there. There are many public policy decisions we're going to be making. The 1,100 acres that are impacted across the board. Decisions that are important to the entire city of Miami. The accountability issues and the malfeasance that has been reported in what I read is very concerning to me. I want to take that responsibility on. I think that we as elected officials, not as people who are appointed and named that can make all kinds of allegations and have no repercussions as a result of those allegations, should be in control of this entity. This entity has serious problems, according to the report that I read. There have been public comments that have been made against people that are duly elected officials. All of us have been, including yourself, have been maligned over this process. And I think the best way to deal with those issues is to take them head on. And if we want to be the people that are accountable to the public, the citizens of the city of Miami, what we do is we take control of it. And then every decision that we make, we're held accountable, and we go to the ballot box, and people vote for us or vote against us. But people that come here and do what they want to do and act with impunity and are not accountable to the people of Miami, That's a concern. I understand what you want to do, and I understand you want to take control of it. But understand that as a commission, as a city, that we also have other interests in that area. It's not only that interest, and we will all be supportive. That's why I think Commissioner Reyes' suggestion that you get 2 appointments and you want to appoint an additional person. But that each member, Commissioner Reyes, Commissioner Carollo, you, Madam Chair, Commissioner Russell, and whoever replaces him in a few months, all of us should be accountable, and all of us should be making those decisions, because that way the people know who's making them. No one knows who these board members are. No one knows who these trust members are. We see them here, they protest, they're organized to come here because they got caught with their hand in the cookie jar, I think is what happened, and they get upset because we caught them. There's no minutes, there's no accountability. I read the whole report, I read it twice. And I know you want to take control of it, but allow us to help you take controls. Allow us to be part of that conversation. Allow us to fix something that's wrong, and it has to be fixed. It's broke, and needs to be fixed. And I think this commission, all of us, as duly elected officials of the city of Miami, have a right to be part of that conversation and have a right to have a vote. Do you believe that you should have more decision-making ability? I accept that, because I know the historic nature of the beach and the historic nature of the area. But we also have to have a right in being part of that conversation. So I ask you to be flexible. I know what you want, but to allow us to find some compromise here where we have a significant say, where that compromise is that the elected officials are the ones that are there on that board, and you could drive the train. You could drive the train. But we have a right to jump in and give our opinion and be part of the conversation. Or whether we're allowed to name someone that could represent us, which is not my preference because it's not somebody who's elected. But I can live with it at the end of the day. I would prefer it be us. So that if something goes wrong or something is not right, some wrong is not righted, it was Commissioner Diaz de la Portilla who didn't fix it. It was Commissioner Reyes who didn't fix it. I want that responsibility. I'll take on that challenge. And I think that we can fix it. But that it's broken, it's broken. And there's no doubt about that. And you can read that report, you can read it 10 times. You cannot find anything good out of that report. And we have to fix it. And I want to be part of that solution. It's a problem, and I want to be part of the solution.
How many members do we have now? We have 9, right?
9. It's proposed to go to 7. Let me make a clarification. I do not want to take it over. I want to work with them. Now we'll hear from Commissioner Russell.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I've been very proud to have Virginia Key Beach Park Trust in my district while working here, and they just celebrated their 75th anniversary during the pandemic, unfortunately by Zoom, but it was really well attended, and there's so many people that care so much about the history there. The good news is it's starting to get the attention it deserves. It has not unlocked the funding from the county that it needs, the $19 million that they've held away as if they're not responsible enough to handle it. And I'd love to see that elected leadership would step in and actually potentially have a greater influence in unlocking that money. I see that there is a universal, unanimous agreement that you could be that chair. And that wasn't your initial intention, and that's not within the legislation, but you see that willingness is here. But I do agree with both Commissioner Reyes and Commissioner Diaz de la Portilla that there should also be a balanced representation on the board. Each of our districts has an African-American community, which all have, it's a diaspora of different interests that may want to take part in how that story and that museum comes together. So I do agree with the amendment that Commissioner Reyes put forth. But one thing I would like for us to try to stop, because if the political will is here to make this policy change, we don't need to defame the management or the board that is there now. I've met with our Auditor General. I've read the draft report. There is nothing in there that points to malfeasance. I asked him for that word specifically. Has there been any malfeasance? There's definitely been sloppy note-taking. There's definitely been poor accounting. But there's nothing that shows a misuse of public funds. And I think leadership is what they need in this sense. And accountability within this board could help work with you to work with them. So I'm in support of the general change, but I think we need to come to consensus on the specifics.
Go ahead.
First of all, just briefly, to get it out of my chest, something that Commissioner Russell said, that there's no malfeasance, that there's You know, it's just bad bookkeeping. That's hogwash. I read the report. If you think it's all hunky-dory, I'll bring everybody here under the charter provisions to investigate, and we'll open up an investigation, start calling people in, and see where we get, under oath. And I guarantee you, you're going to have people that are going to want to resign right away, people that are not going to want to come, and it's a different story. I've never seen in 40-plus years such a report like the draft report that I have read so far. Now, having said that, it bothers me tremendously in the lack of wanting to do what's right there, because I am responsible for that trust having been created. When I was mayor, together with Arthur Teal, we created that trust, we moved it forward. That was one of my babies. And I never meant it to become what it's become, a piñata, a grab for people to get employed, not do much there, huge salaries, $150,000. There's 20 people. The other day, you heard the executive director say, no, there's 14. Well, based upon what we have been given, as of the last payroll that I was given, there were 17 people that were in the payroll, plus 3 independent contractors that basically what they're doing is they're getting paid huge amounts, and in one case more than they're supposed to get, for bringing in the handful of major projects that are coming there. Unbeknownst to this board, for years, we would approve a budget, but we never approved additional people. There's at least 100,000 or more that was being given by Parks with 2 employees. There's no reason in the world why this trust should have approximately twice the people working as Bayfront Park Trust. And you talk about 2 huge areas, Bayfront Park, Maurice Ferré Park, and we've been doing it with that. Now, can we do it better with more people? Absolutely, but it's been maintained properly. So, you know, when I hear somebody get up here and on top of that wants not just $300,000 from the city, like we've been giving, but they want another $300,000. For what? They have hijacked the historic Black Beach, mainly from the Black community of Miami, from the African community of Miami, because when I pushed for this trust to be created, it was so that we could see young elementary school age teenagers from the African American community, the urban city, being able to go there, being able to hear about African American history, Miami history as it was, being able to be with nature, being able to enjoy so many of the things in that area. In fact, I remember years back, I would go there often because there's a bridge that goes into the mangroves towards the back. And it was the most beautiful sight. You could see the little offsprings from fish at different times of the year be there, shrimp, ostriches, all kinds of birds would be there. It was the most relaxing thing that you could do. That is in such bad state right now, nobody cares. I mean, the place has what I don't know anywhere in Miami, in South Florida that we have, a whole track for a train. It was supposed to have a carousel. I don't know who uses that. I don't know how it's done. I mean, they were making such a big deal about tiny homes. You got 6 tiny homes right on the beach over there. So this has to come to a head. It's one thing when different of our trusts or agencies bring their own dollars. The CRAs, the DDA, Bayfront Park Trust, but this agency is getting money from the general fund that after 20-plus years, it should not have been getting any dollars because it should have been weaned out a long time ago. This has to come to a stop also. And frankly, Chair, I don't want to approve something where we keep the same executive director doing the same thing, and if there are board members that think that they could keep doing the same thing, I don't know what's been going on there, but it's not good. And I, for one, am not going to be intimidated because I'm going to be called names, be accused of, you know what, like you yourself have been accused. My God.
Yeah.
So those games are not going to be played with me so that they can keep using the money that we're giving them, not in bringing in the African-American children to learn about the history, but in salaries. In salaries. I mean, my God, what is going on there that we have 20 people? And we still can't have, after 20 years, the executive director, the board cannot come with any ideas to make that place self-sufficient when it truly is a gem. It is one of the most beautiful sites that we have. Now, having said that, and if you want, I'll hold this for the next round. We'll do it the way you like to, Chair. This is outrageous that this falsehood, this lie, this fake news that we were planning on putting tiny homes in the historic Black Beach when that was never the case. That was never the case whatsoever in the area that we were looking at it. And that the executive director...
We can table that.
Okay.
We'll get to that when we get to our discussion item. So here we are with the Virginia Key Beach Trust, Park Trust appointment. So where are we, what is proposed? Again, it would be my wish. I will take on being chair as it seems this board wants. But I would like to maintain I would like to keep the trust board as it is with me having the appointments for a year. Give me a year to work with the organization before we add everyone to the trust. Before we add all of us to the trust, give me a year to work with them. I'll be the chair. We'll have periodic reports. And if in a year it hasn't turned around to the satisfaction of this body, I will acquiesce and stay out of the way to allow all of you to have a seat on the trust.
Madam Chair, I don't want to vote against you.
Please don't then.
No. There's too much evidence of malfeasance. There's too much evidence of wrongdoing. There's too much evidence of lack of accountability and lack of transparency. There is no progress. And when I refer to the Virginia Key Park Trust, I also look at the surrounding areas, right, which includes the Virginia Key Advisory Board and other areas. So it impacts the entire area. It's not only talking about one specific area. So everybody here has to have a voice in this. I'm willing to defer the item to the next commission meeting so we can all think about it. And that way we can all come up with a better proposal, perhaps. But I will not vote to keep those same people in power. Not for another day, not for another month, and much less for another year. I understand that you want to come in and fix it. I would venture and argue with you based on my experience that you're not going to fix it with these people. That's just my experience.
But I will have the authority to appoint a new board.
I understand, but I cannot, in good conscience, Madam Chair, give these people another year to do what they've been doing. And on top of that, to top it all off, they come and ask for an additional $300,000 after having 20 employees not doing anything for 2 decades. And to me, it's not, as an elected member of this body, is not responsible to allow us to see something bad happening and not step in and stop it from happening immediately. And I see something that doesn't smell right here. It doesn't smell right. And I cannot allow, knowing that already, and having read that report and having the evidence before me from our Inspector General, our auditor, that now that I have the information, I can't allow it to continue. So whatever happens, happens here today. If you want to buy more time and you want us, all of us, to think about it a little bit more, I don't think my mind will change. Maybe some other minds will change. But I'm going to vote against this idea of keeping the same people running the show here, because I want to vote them out. And I think that the people that can better replace them are the people who are elected by voters, that are accountable. We're directly elected by voters. If they don't like us, they can vote us out of office.
Mr. Manager.
And second to that, and I finish, second to that is we, like Commissioner Russell suggested, we each get an appointment, and you can get 2, and you're the chairwoman. And that's okay. We all want you to be the chairwoman. There's consensus on that here. And we want you maybe to have even a little more authority, because it is the historic Black Beach, and you are the African-American, the Black member. Black woman, sorry. The Caribbean African member of the board. And I think that it's important that you have more say, because I think but we all, like Commissioner Russell said, he's correct. We all have African-American and Black constituents. That's an important part of Miami's legacy, a critical part of Miami's legacy. So we want to get it right. I want to be part of that decision-making. I'm sorry.
Okay,
I think I've earned the right by being elected. I think everybody hears that right.
Okay.
So whatever the motion is, I'm not going to make a motion against you, but I will not support a motion that keeps it as it is.
Okay, so I understand. I think we all agree that it shouldn't be as it is. So how about this? Chair, 5, and you each get 1.
11, you're saying?
How about a deferral, and we can think
That's
about
right.
it? It's next week. It's September 22nd.
Madam Chair.
We're a week away.
Madam Chair, let me clarify my position, please. You see, I want to be part of the solution. You see, I would like, and I just asked the city clerk if it is possible for us to appoint new members to the board that will follow, you see, our philosophy and our will to solve all the problems that are, that have been caused by this old administration. You see, Mr. Carollo, Commissioner Carollo talks about bringing, and the way that this board was the principle of this board was that was going to be self-sufficient. And it hasn't been self-sufficient for so long. And also, I want also to add that not only students and people from the inner city should be brought to that area, but everybody in the city of Miami should be brought to that area to know the history of that beautiful, but let me tell you, the beach is beautiful. I swam in it. And what went on and the transition that the city has gone through. And if you don't know history, you are condemned to repeat it. And I would like for all of us to be able to bring whoever, have an administration that will bring everybody or promote that area as a historic area and as a beautiful area. And I want to be part of that solution. I want to appoint somebody that think just like I do and will be willing to tackle the problems that we have and try to bring a solution to it. I want to be part of it. You see?
Well, Commissioner, I do agree with you that the history there has to be open to all of our communities. But I think it has to begin with the youth in the African-American community, and then expand it to the rest of our community. And I agree with that. But here, Mr. Clerk, how many meetings can someone miss in this board before they're taken out?
If you can give me a moment, I just don't remember that off the top of my head, because I know that you can't excuse those absences now.
Yeah, but there is usually.
I believe it's 3 consecutive and 4 within a year, I
Okay,
believe.
okay. Unfortunately, I can't say more because of what I've been told on the draft, but I can say this. The board member that was appointed by my predecessor, my brother, before I came, and I'd left him, I figure fine. I believe he passed on quite a while ago. So, did you get any notification, Mr. Clerk, from this board that there's been a vacancy there?
No, sir.
You guys see the point that I'm making?
Yes.
People want a point.
Yeah, I
They
understand.
don't want anybody else in there.
So,
And it's fine the way it's going for them.
how about we defer this?
Okay.
I move to
Let's-
defer the item.
Let's defer it.
I second.
Okay. And we'll bring it back on the 22nd?
On the
Yes, Madam Chair.
22nd.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you,
Is there a
Madam Chair.
motion second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That item is deferred. Now we can go back to our first reading items. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion, Todd, do we need a second for the,
Madam Chair, I think there was a floor amendment on FR 3 to add certain language to allow that to require that there be written notice to by the manager to the commission as to any.
I believe we accepted that.
Yes, that
We
was
did?
accepted.
Okay.
We accepted
Okay.
that.
Then
And I'm sorry,
apologies.
the mover again, the mover and seconder?
I'll move it with
And I
FR3 as amended.
I second it.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Before we recess for lunch, let's take up the board appointments, the boards and committees.
Good afternoon, Chair, Commissioners. BC 18, Off-Street Parking Board. Off-Street Parking Board is seeking confirmation of Deborah Ladrone de Guevara for an unexpired term. Also, for the record, I'll be submitting an MPA memo and resolution dated September 7, 2022 into the record as a substitute for the draft memo and resolution that were used as a placeholder. That's BC 18.
Move.
I'll second it.
For off-street parking,
Yes.
BC 18.
are we appointing someone to?
No, ma'am, it's the Off-Street Parking Board. You're confirming the Off-Street Parking Board's nominee.
Okay. Who's the nominee?
Deborah Ladrone de Guevara.
And who's,
De Guevara. Come on. How long have you been in Miami?
is that your nominee?
No.
Whose nominee is that?
It's the Off-Street Parking Board's nominee, and they're seeking confirmation by the City Commission. And so I just need a motion and a second if it's the will of the commission. Oh, I'm sorry, I already have it.
Are you okay with that?
May I add a little element to that,
Yes.
little color?
Please.
So that board is a self-perpetuating board, so when there's a vacancy, they interview and take applications. And obviously, the board makes recommendations to the commission for ratification. So this individual, they were replacing, obviously, the individual that I poached from them, Mr. Larry Spring.
Right.
And I believe that the individual, in sort of in line with their past practice, has a very similar skill set in terms of it's an account, someone with a finance background. So I think that's the intent of the board appointment.
But it's not really self-perpetuating because the commission has to approve it.
Yeah, but what I mean is that they actually do the interviewing process and make a recommendation.
Right, of course. I'll move it.
I have it moved by Commissioner Correa, seconded by Commissioner Diaz-Loportillo.
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
BC 19, Performing Arts Center Trust. The Performing Arts Center Trust is seeking confirmation of Mimi Foray, Brian Goldmeyer, and Garth Reeves III.
Do I have a motion?
Wait. Are they already these members here?
No, they don't usually.
They're not
attend.
here?
No. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Motion by Commissioner Russell. I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Commissioner Russell, yes?
Yeah.
Motion carries.
And I have one non-agenda board item. It's a non-agenda item for the Community Relations Board. Commissioner Russell is requesting a forfeits residency waiver as it relates to Christopher Hernandez, who was appointed on July 19, 2022, to the Community Relations Board.
So moved.
Well, I have a question. Why are you naming a board member you're leaving in 3 months?
Thank you. So this is a board member that was requested by Lovett McGill. Several months ago, we appointed him, and he's just let us know that even though he owns a business in the city, he's now moved just outside of the city, and so he let us know that his residency has changed, but he'd like to fill out the end of his term till I leave, so that the next commissioner can choose his successor. But I'm happy with Ms. Lovett's recommendation. I have his resume here if anyone would like to look at it. So I'm in support of the 4/5 to let him stay to the end, but if it's the will of this body.
He doesn't live in the city?
He just moved out.
Okay.
You still living in the city?
Yes, sir.
Well, you haven't moved yet?
No.
My God, 15 months after you sold the house, Ken.
Come on over for dinner.
He'll move in 3 months. 90 days. We're almost there.
Motion,
I'll move it.
Thank you. Second.
second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Needed 4/5, right?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I did vote aye, right?
Thank you, Joe.
Okay.
That's 4? Okay.
Chair, that concludes the boards.
At this time, our meeting is in recess. We will, our meeting is in recess. We'll be back at 2 o'clock.
No, we have an Omni CRA meeting, Mr. Clerk.
But I have to close this meeting to do that meeting.
Yeah, I know, but we're gonna,
Oh.
we're gonna reschedule that meeting. So we need to convene to reschedule, or can we just cancel it?
Cancel. We'll take care of it from there.
The Omni CRA meeting has been canceled for today and rescheduled for September 22nd.
Understood, sir.
Okay.
This body will reconvene in 2 hours.
And the Midtown CRA will take just before we reconvene, please.
Okay.